Of the nation's top teams ring in the new year. In prime time, the Georgia Dome is the site for the Nokia Sugar Bowl as the SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs look to protect their turf against the beast of the Big East, the West Virginia Mountaineers. Later, it's bombs away in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl as Brady Quinn pilots a potent Notre Dame. Awaiting the Irish in the desert is A.J. Hawk and the co-Big Ten champion Ohio State Buckeyes. But next, it's the Capital One Bowl, where Wisconsin head coach Barry Alvarez takes the sidelines for the very last time. His bruising Badgers go head-to-head with the Auburn Tigers and their physical, in-your-face defense. A traditional gridiron triple header is next on ABC Sports. It is not, but in any other given year, this could be a BCS bowl game. Barry Alvarez coaching his last game on the sidelines for Wisconsin. It should be a terrific matchup as the Auburn Tigers face the Wisconsin Badgers. Welcome to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl tonight. John Saunders, Greg James, and Aaron Taylor. That game is coming up later, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about it. It should be a terrific matchup, but Barry Alvarez, I feel a little tear in the eye, a little sentimental this last game.
Yeah, it's that kind of day, isn't it? You know what? This is a great football game here because of the emotions, and everybody in Wisconsin is pulling for Barry Alvarez today. So emotionally, will they be able as players to overcome that Auburn defense? Because Auburn's defense, they get in the backfield, 36 sacks this season. Up front, Wisconsin's offensive line must have a great game. They've got to be emotional, but they have to be very smart. They can't allow people to come clean and run freely in the backfield and knock off Brian Calhoun.
Yeah, Brian Calhoun's a good back, but you're right, Craig. He is going to have his hands full, and they're also going to have their hands full on offense because Auburn does an excellent job moving the football. Everybody thought that Auburn couldn't have a chance losing their entire backfield to the first round last year, but lo and behold, they're doing better, scoring more points this year than they did last year. Kenny Irons and Brandon Cox have done a great job putting up over 34 points a game. Auburn can move the football.
Yep. Remember I said the Capital One is not a BCS bowl game. It just feels like one. But here are the 4 BCS bowl games. We're going to start, of course, with the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Ohio State facing Notre Dame. The Nokia Sugar Bowl, Georgia and West Virginia. The FedEx Orange Bowl, Penn State and Florida State. And then, of course, the Rose Bowl for National Championship, #1 USC and #2 Texas. A few scores before we get you out to Orlando. Florida is leading Iowa 24-7. Chris Leak has a touchdown pass. Alabama 7. And Texas Tech has 3 as their offense can't get it going. And Louisville leads Virginia Tech 7-0 is the score there. We, of course, will see at halftime. Right now, it's out to the Capital One Bowl and Ron Franklin. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, John, and welcome to the Capital One Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Big Ten meets SEC. The 18th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers take on the 9th-ranked Auburn Tigers. Today's Capital One Bowl is available on ABC HD, presented by DLP Picture Technology. And as the Auburn Tigers take the field, keep one thing in mind. In the last 2 years, only 2 teams have a better winning percentage in the entire country. Those 2 teams are Southern California and the Texas Longhorns. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Bob Davey and Holly Rowe. A Happy New Year to you. We got a gorgeous day here at the Citrus Bowl. Bob, it's hard to believe 16 years ago, Barry Alvarez took over as the head football coach at Wisconsin. Today, the last stop on the sideline with the whistle, so to speak. He is retiring and heading to the AD's office. We wish him well.
Ron, you're right, and Barry Alvarez loves to run the football. It makes total sense that there's 2 great running backs in this game today. For Wisconsin, Brian Calhoun has had over 1,000 yards rushing and over 500 yards in pass receiving. He really is a combination running back and wide receiver. Look for him to touch the ball 40 times today. He's quick. He'll make you miss in the open field. For Auburn, Kenny Irons led the Southeastern Conference in rushing. He's at his best against great defenses. He had 218 yards at LSU, 179 yards at Georgia. Ron, he is physical. He will flat try to run you over.
Well, anytime the SEC and the Big Ten get together, these are bragging rights. Should be a good one. The Badgers against the Auburn Tigers. Kickoff is coming up next.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles.
Yeah, no.
All you've ever saying no.
And yet you keep calling.
That's it. I'm coming to find you. I am tired of no.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my bright yellow shirt.
You're going down. Ah!
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
I should work at Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
Give me close for a minute. I smell a Hemi. I knew it! The new Ram 1500 with a new front end, new suspension, new frame. It's got a Hemi, all right. And that MDS will save you gas. A new interior. Woo! That can't be good.
Now through January 3rd, get $1,000 year-end bonus cash and grab an 05 Ram for under 15 grand.
Welcome back to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida, and part of the capacity crowd on hand this afternoon. Just moments ago, we had the flip of the coin, and a special participant in that, Matt Schuyler, the Executive Vice President, Human Resources for Capital One. And with that, let's head down to the sideline and visit with our third member of the broadcast team. Here is Holly Rowe. Holly?
Well, thanks, Ron. For Auburn fans, last year was a dream season, finishing 13-0, a perfect run. But they lost their entire backfield to the NFL draft. Jason Campbell, their quarterback, and their two running backs, Pernell Williams and Ronnie Brown. People wondered how in the world they would replace them. How would they adapt? But ironically, this year, they've been even better, scoring 2 more points per game and even running the ball better, despite doing it by committee for part of the season. The Auburn Tigers have another test today. They'll see if they can continue that momentum against a very young Wisconsin defense. Ron?
Okay, Holly, thanks so much. We look forward to hearing from you on this January the 2nd in a sun-splashed state of Florida. It is really a beautiful day here in Orlando. Temperature in the mid to upper 70s. Preparing to kick it off is Melhoff for the Wisconsin Badgers. Brad Lester is one of the deep men, along with Devin Arumashadu for the Auburn Tigers. And the ball has blown off the tee, so the emotion will have to hold for just a couple of more seconds now. The crowd boos some, booing Mother Nature. Not a good way to start the day.
And Ron, keep in mind, Auburn, an excellent special teams football team, number 2 in the entire NCAA in kickoff returns. So this is a weapon for the Auburn Tigers right here.
Arumashadu, number 1. And number 28, Brad Lester, the two deep men. And here's the kick. And it's a high spinner, going to come down short, and it'll be taken by Arumashadu at the 6-yard line. Far sideline, gets outside, breaks contain, 30, 35, at the 40, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Melhoff, the kicker. So let's take a look at the starter at quarterback following that beautiful return by Arumashadu. Brandon Cox, we saw him in his very first start at the beginning of this football season, Bob.
And Ron, from start to finish, maybe the most improved quarterback in all of college football. 4 interceptions in the first game against Georgia Tech, only 3 cents. Not a dynamic guy, but operates this offense efficiently.
And as Bob said in the open, we got 2 football teams that love to run the football. Play action is a big thing because they both run it so successfully. Pitch back goes to Irons, tries to turn the corner. Going to fight his way out for about 4 yards as Hayden comes over to make the tackle. Time now for our Capital One starting lineups. And here are the specialists. Irons and Jake Slaughter, the fullback. Cooper Wallace, the tight end. Obomanu and Arumashadu, the 2 wide receivers. Selma, Alabama, and Miami, Florida for those 2 youngsters. Outstanding offensive line, particularly McNeil at left tackle and Tim Duckworth over at right guard. Those 2 guys, 73 and 76, are fun to watch. Brandon Cox, the southpaw, going to throw on 2nd down. And he's going to go long. Got a man out there, and the ball is intercepted by the Wisconsin Badgers. Rowan. Levon Rowan on the interception. Pass was intended for Devin Arumashadu.
And Ron, right off the bat, you see Auburn's offense run the football effectively, then play action. They go downtown to Arumashadu, and what a play by Levon Rowan. great way to start the football game, Ron. This Wisconsin defense comes in 100th in the nation in total defense, but they have forced now 26 turnovers. That's their 16th interception. That's by far their most impressive statistic defensively.
So entering the field is John Stocco, the junior out of Richfield, Minnesota. Number 7, 6'2", 200 pounds junior. Play action. They're going to try to go on top, but he's got a man open at the 35-yard line, and that is Brandon Williams. Well, here's Stocco. You see his completion percentage, his yards, 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
And this guy has gained the respect of not only his teammates, but maybe just importantly, Ron, Wisconsin fans has really improved over last year.
27 yards in that pass play to Brandon Williams. And a new set of downs as they set up shop at the 40-yard line. Donovan Raiola, a senior out of Honolulu. His brother played for double-digit years in the National Football League, and T.J. Jackson comes across and makes contact with Raiola.
Anytime you have an attacking defense like Auburn is, the cadence, the quarterback changing that snap count, Ron.
Defense, number 58. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Good look at Barry Alvarez. He has been rather loose the last couple of weeks down here. I mean, you know, he has done such an outstanding job, which we will talk about all afternoon long. But, Bob, there's something he's also excited about, becoming just the athletic director at this school as well.
And not many guys in this profession, Ron, get to choose when and how they go out, but Barry Alvarez earned it in 16 years at Wisconsin.
Daniels, the tight end, in motion. They leave him in the block. Drops one, got it complete, incomplete. Boy, Brian Calhoun, they circled him out of the backfield, and you could see he put a little air under it. It was there, and he dropped it.
And Ron, at the last second, Brian Calhoun, who is an excellent receiver, will look up at the safety coming across. Watch right at the end of that, right there, he took his eyes off the football, and Jonathan Wilhite, the corner, got his attention at the last second. You won't see that happen very often.
So it's 2nd down and 5. This time Calhoun on the run. Tries to turn the corner. Going to be knocked down hard by Wayne Dickens. And now here's a look at the Capital One starting lineup. First of all, for the Badgers, Calhoun and Presley in the backfield. Brandon Williams, Jonathan Orr, and Owen Daniels is the tight end. Up front with the offensive line, and these guys are huge, but the most experienced, Joe Thomas over there on the left side. The pros love him, and they say he will go early, even if he comes out a year early. Craig Urbick is the right tackle. He is only a freshman. Well, we got another flag is Jonathan Orr, the wide receiver, came in motion.
False start, 76 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Defensively for the Auburn Tigers, Gunn, Jackson, Dickens, and McClover. And folks, those two defensive ends can absolutely fly. One is 4'5", the other is 4'4". Dede, Travis Williams, and Antarius Williams. Small group of linebackers. The largest one is 215 pounds. Gandy and David Irons are the corners. Will Herring from right next door in Opelika, and Jonathan Wilhite, they are the safeties. 3rd down. They need the 50-yard line. Stocco under pressure, delivers it, and boy, it was very close to Travis Williams, the middle linebacker, but Quentin Groves came with a heavy pass rush, and it'll be the Badgers after that big 27-yard opening play having to punt.
Ron, keep in mind, this is the same Auburn defense that had 5 sacks in the first quarter against Alabama in their last game, 11 for the game. 1 point right here. You know these are two well-coached football teams. There has not been a punt blocked or a field goal blocked on either team this season. That's two well-coached teams.
Ken DeBush back to punt, the best average in the Big Ten Conference. It's a low pass, but they've got the return on it. Here's a high hanging spiral. Going to let it go. Bounds at the 5 and will go into the end zone. And it will be Auburn football at the 20-yard line. So let's take a timeout. 53 yards in the booth. No score. Opening quarter, 12:36 showing on the clock.
Welcome back. Next up, it's the 2006 Dodge Charger. It's the RT with a 340-horse Hemi, 18-inch alloys, muscular styling.
I particularly like this razor edging along here. Even the interior looks straight out of the custom shop.
75. No, it's actually around 26.
Nicely equipped from the factory. Charger SXT.
I'll take it.
Unleashed. Now well-qualified lessees can lease a Dodge Charger SXT with a V6 for just $349 a month.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Fullness from a value menu.
No one's going anywhere until you tell me who's full. Me too.
New to the Big Bell value menu. The half-pound cheesy bean and rice burrito. Loaded with 3 cheeses, fiesta sauce, and a cheesy, zesty kick. Designed to keep your stomach and your wallet full.
Number 3. If I'm a new cheesy bean and rice burrito, you are?
Full.
To get full-on value, think outside the bun.
This season, don't miss a thing from your sports or your beer. Grab a Miller Lite with more taste than Bud Light and half the carbs. Miller, good call.
Next Monday, a neat freak goes from cleanliness to complete filth. It's the most extreme wife swap ever.
What are you going to do? Hit me?
911.
All new season of Wife Swap. Next Monday at 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Welcome back to the Capital One Bowl. You see the temperature 79 degrees, humidity 64%. Wind could be a little bit of a factor. 13 miles an hour from the south, and the forecast is for partly sunny. So Auburn to go on offense for the second time. They had 2 plays on their first drive, and the interception was made by Rowan. Draw play, outside Irons, and it closes up quickly. That's a nice job defensively by Rowan, who had the interception. So already off to an outstanding start on the defensive side of the football. And here's the way the Badgers will open. Chapman, Monty on the other side at defensive end, and Ostrowski along with Hayden inside at the tackles. The linebackers are Sanders, Zalewski, and Watkins. And in the secondary, it is Akaguano at one of the corners along with Rowan, who had the interception, and the 2 safeties, Stellmacher and Roderick Rogers. Big opening, and there goes Irons for the first down and about 7 yards more as Sanders finally put the stopper on him. If this is what you have to keep an eye on following that 11-yard gain, Auburn will just continue to do this and break it.
And Ron, the reason this Auburn team, we saw them in the first game, we see them in the last game. I think they're the most improved team in college football because they found their identity after the first game. They line up and run the football, and they give the ball to number 23, Kenny Irons.
And he is the biggest surprise of the year. Also the best surprise of the year, says the coaching staff. They thought he'd be good, but not this good. You could see the guards pulling. Ball came loose. Wisconsin got on it, and the officials say yes. Jason Chapman has made the hit and the recovery.
All year, Ron, this Wisconsin defense at times hangs by a thread, but they force turnovers. They were second in the Big Ten. You see the football stripped out of there by number 91, Jason Chapman. And if you're Wisconsin, you better take advantage of these early Auburn turnovers because you are the underdog, Ron. You better strike right now, Wisconsin, on offense.
The margin for the season was plus 12. 11th nationally, so plus 2 already today. And a not-so-good start for the Auburn Tigers. They scrimmage from the 36. Ball is given to Calhoun. Nice job, boy. Containment was right there, unable to turn the corner. And that'll be a loss of a couple of yards in the play as Will Herring came up along with Gandy to make the tackle.
And if you're Barry Alvarez, you have to be excited, Ron. He's coached in 10 bowl games. He's 7-0 against everybody else, 0-3 against the Southeastern Conference.
Isn't that amazing?
So that monkey's on his back, but those 2 early turnovers, he knows he has to take advantage right now.
He's 3-0 in Rose Bowls, 3 conference championships, and he went out and won every one of those games against the Pac-10. You see the shift at the very last moment by the defensive front of Auburn. And Calhoun, whoa, does he get hit? And Terrius Williams, number 31, tried to rip his head off. And it's going to be a 3rd down at about 10 yards for the first.
And you take a look at these Auburn linebackers, and Terrius Williams is a great example, Ron. This guy may be a corner or a strong safety. You look at Travis Williams at other schools, but they have DBs playing linebacker. They have linebackers playing defensive end. It's all about speed for this Auburn defense.
Case in point, Quentin Groves put pressure on the quarterback a minute ago, number 54. He's in the ball game, used last year and again this year primarily as a pass rusher. Boy, they've got 10 men in the box. Here comes the pressure. Stocko could not get the screen away. They were all over him. Stanley McClover led the way, number 75.
And Stanley McClover had a hamstring in training camp, had an ankle against Georgia Tech, but he is back. Look at the quickness coming off the football, Ron. That's a screen pass. You sometimes let that guy go unblocked, but you don't let a guy that runs 4.5 go unblocked.
Melhoff is going to attempt a very long field goal, it would appear. This ball is going to be placed down at the 43-yard line, a 53-yard attempt.
And you wonder if this may be a pooch kick out of this formation, Ron.
Ball is down, the kick is on the way, and he is wide to the left. And I'll tell you, he had the distance, though. So with 9:51 left in this opening quarter, no score between Auburn and Wisconsin.
Ted Ferguson, Bud Light Daredevil. Today for a Bud Light, I'll attempt an incredibly difficult stunt. Tighter on the wrist. I will eat lunch with my girlfriend and not glance over at a table of hot girls. Not even once.
I could get swordfish. It's so nice. They've got Brazilian
Hey, time!
Bud Light. Just breathe, Ted. Just breathe. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
How's it going?
Dude, what do you got in that thing? I got an amp, guitar, surfboard, ladder, and 12 2x4s.
Velocity meets versatility. The all-new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum. Open it up from either end. Now through January 3rd, get $1,000 year-end bonus cash and grab Dodge Magnum for under 23 grand.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles to Miami.
No, blacked out.
Ooh, you sound strong. Please?
No.
Just for me.
Okay.
The answer's always no.
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
Should have worked at Capital One. What's in your wallet?
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Capital One Bowl. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Hey, Bo.
Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Good call. And Transporter 2. Own the DVD on January 10th. Rated PG-13.
Let's go, Wisconsin!
So welcome back to Orlando, Florida. The Capital One Bowl. That man right there just really put the heat on John Stocko, the quarterback for the Wisconsin Badgers. Stanley McClover, a junior out of Fort Lauderdale. And in very large letters I have written down what the coach said. Very, very quick. John Stocko would write down the same thing right now. Auburn from their own 37. Irons tries to bounce it outside. I'll tell you, the Badgers so far on anything as far as containment to the outside, they have been outstanding. That time, Lamar Watkins stepped up and made the tackle.
And Ron, if I'm Barry Alvarez, I know exactly what he's thinking. Auburn has given us 2 turnovers here early in this football game, and we have 0 points. He knows how good this Auburn team is.
When you get those opportunities against somebody this good, you better take advantage. About to go under 9 minutes to play, opening quarter. Cooper Wallace, the tight end, number 8, resets to the left side. And they throw it in the flat, incomplete. That goes to Cole Bennett, the other tight end. So they had both tight ends in the flat, and Bennett dropped it.
And Ron, we look at the game plan for this game. I think Auburn's defense sounds simple, but win first down. Their game is to run the ball, then play action, stay in manageable third downs. They don't want to put too much pressure on Brandon Cox. And for Wisconsin, it is create turnovers, because I don't think you can consistently stop this Auburn offense.
Keep an eye on number 9. Anthony Mix has come in at wide receiver. Big target, 6'5", 248, and it's the yards after catch. Here he comes in motion. The yards after catch that are really impressive as far as his numbers. Pressure. Ball is thrown too far in front, and a hit as Rodriguez tried to make the catch, and it was too far in front of him. Zalewski is the man who was applying the pressure, the middle linebacker, number 41.
And Tommy Tuberville, Al Borges will tell you the reason Auburn has been successful, Ron, since the first football game, they have taken the pressure off of Brandon Cox, kept him out of those 3rd and long situations.
So this, again, a time to punt for the Auburn Tigers. As you look at Brandon Williams and his numbers, an average of 15.6. The longest, though, is over 60 yards on a return, and they try to kick it away from him. Line drive, very returnable, and he'll get it on the run at the 20. But look what using the sidelines can do for you. There is at least a 12th, if not a 13th player. Right, Bob?
I'll tell you what, he hit that fastball, the punter, and hit a line shot now to Brandon Williams.
45 yards in the punt. We'll be right back.
Jeez, that's a big truck.
Yeah.
It has the world's biggest cab.
Where's the truck?
The all-new Dodge Ram Mega Cab. Yeah, it's that big. Now through January 3rd, get $1,500 year-end bonus cash and grab Ram Mega Cab for around $32 grand.
Pizza Hut proudly presents the Pick Your Pair promotion.
Just pick a pair of topping, and pick a pair of topping, then pick a pair of crust. For a personally picked pair of pizzas.
It's the Pick Your Pair deal at Pizza Hut. Buy 2 medium pizzas with up to 2 toppings on any one of our famous crusts for only $6.99 each.
$6.99? That's puny. A pit is for pizzas piled so high.
$6.99? That's a great deal.
Do you think they know we're not twins? Feed a lot of family for not a lot of money with the Pick Your Pair deal at Pizza Hut.
Didn't get what you want this holiday? Now you can. It's New Year's Red Hot Deal Days at Verizon Wireless. Time to get a great deal on a cool phone. For today only, you can get the LG VX 6100 camera phone for just $29.99. And when you buy one, you'll get a second camera phone free. But the days are done today, so call, visit us online until midnight, or stop by a Verizon Wireless store to take advantage of the nation's most reliable wireless network. Verizon Wireless.
ABC Sports coverage of the Capital One Bowl continues.
Well, welcome back. It's the Badgers of Wisconsin taking on the Auburn Tigers in this 2006 Capital One Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Ron Franklin, Bob Davie, Holly Rowe, and great to have you along. Listen to these numbers so far. Both defenses have showed up at a late wake-up call for the offenses. Auburn, 19 total yards. Cox is 0 of 3 with 1 interception. And Wisconsin, 29 total yards. And Wisconsin has had the benefit of 2 turnovers and were unable to score any points. That's the tight end Owen Daniels who resets. Stocko rolls the pocket, and he just throws this one way high and got it away from the defensive back. Posiak was the intended receiver.
And again, you see the speed of Auburn's defensive front, Ron. Marquise Gunn, number 48, up the field. But I don't know that I've ever been in a game where the 2 star players, the 2 running backs, are both transfers from other four-year schools. You talk about Brian Calhoun from Colorado, Kenny Irons from South Carolina. Not many times, Ron, the transfers work out, but these two, starting right here with Brian Calhoun, have definitely worked out.
Well, Stocco was 1 of 5. He completed his first pass for 27 yards. Since then, 0-4. Deep over the middle. Got a man there. Throws it complete at the 42-yard line, and it's Brandon Williams, the senior out of St. Louis, Missouri. 17 yards on that completion.
And, Ron, one thing you want to do is get a wide receiver on a linebacker. Watch Merrill Johnson, 55 right here, get sucked up a little bit, throw the football right over the linebacker in front of the safety, Will Herring. Tough matchup out there, Brandon Williams on a linebacker.
Well, Will Herring from right next door, as I said in the opening lineups, Opelika, which is a suburb of Auburn, Alabama, and he really is a coach's dream. Gets him lined up properly, a really complete player. Pitch back comes to Calhoun, turns the corner. 40, 35, puts his shoulder down and tries to punish the defensive back, and he's finally out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Eric Brock finally got him down, but he had to absorb a lick.
And you're going to get two excellent blocks. First by the tight end, Posiak, 84. Watch right here. And now Brandon Williams, late downfield, gets a block as well. But Brandon Williams, all those guys love to catch it, Ron, as he did on the previous one. But he came back in there that time and got that free safety, Will Herring, block.
You also could see in that picture, number 72, Joe Thomas, the big junior out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, the left tackle, got out with a very fine block. Stocco, great protection this time. Sits in the pocket. Ball is knocked away at the very last moment at the 18-yard line by David Irons.
So much attention to Brian Calhoun, Ron. Watch right here. Brian Calhoun swings. Watch the linebackers all pay attention. And the football's thrown inside in the curl. What a great break right there by David Irons, brother of Kenny Irons.
Well, the Irons boys contributing to their team's cause this afternoon. Got to get a few more folks to buy into that thing right now. No scores. We're about to go under 8 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Stocco throws the middle screen, and that is complete to Williams. Breaks the tackle. He may score at the 5. Touchdown, Wisconsin. 30 yards, and he broke a huge tackle, Bob.
A great way to counter an up-the-field rush team on the screens. He gets a block from Jason Palermo right there. And Brandon Williams, who is healthy, actually had a screw put in his shin in the offseason. He's over the shin splints, but a great play call, taking advantage of that aggressive Auburn defense.
Eric Brock, number 33, had a clear shot at him, and he just deked him and went right on by. Extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So Melhoff knocks it home, and our new score, 7-0 Wisconsin. We've got 7:55 remaining in this opening quarter.
Finally, we're using my credit card miles. They couldn't black us out forever.
But, Dad, it's summer.
What are you, a weatherman?
All right, who's up for a little double diamond? Last one down's a coward. I'm okay.
They need a Capital One card.
For easy-to-use rewards, get Capital One no-hassle rewards with no blackouts on any airline anytime.
Kids, look at
What's in your wallet?
And Cooley gets it on.
DLP picture technology is here. HDTV that's so razor sharp and lifelike, you're there. Be sure your next TV has DLP technology from Texas Instruments. It doesn't get any more real than this.
What did you do?
I had to fire the guy. You know what just hit me? We should go to Outback for their new Cairn citrus chicken. Marinated, seasoned, char grilled in a citrus glaze.
Mind if I join you?
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Ryan 21! Prime rib! Seasoned, seared, slow roasted at Outback!
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I'm open!
So you guys want to hear what happened last night with me and the kindergarten teacher? I got the second base.
Second base? Oh, I hope you took the retainer out first. Jake in Progress premieres next Monday, 9:30, 8:30 Central, only on ABC.
7-0, the Wisconsin Badgers. And what's interesting, they do this all alone after a punt. They had 2 turnovers and could come up with nothing. And this one, they take it after a punt and go down the field and score. And what an outstanding run on the play after the catch. And some poor tackling on the part of the Auburn Tigers.
And don't underestimate Wisconsin's skill players. Ryan Calhoun, Brandon Williams, so much attention to speed in the SEC. But Ron, those skill players from Wisconsin could play anywhere in the country.
Melhoff gets ready to kick it off, and the left footer knocks this one high, and it is returnable. This is Aromashadu. 2 yards deep. Now he decides, well, he's going to try to run it. And you know what that means when you hesitate. The ball had crossed the plane, and that's the only thing that's important. Well, coming up next, the BCS kicks off the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. 2 of the most storied programs in college football meet when Ohio State takes on Notre Dame. And then tonight at 8:30, Georgia battles West Virginia at the Nokia Sugar Bowl.
Right now, Auburn maybe took Wisconsin a little for granted. Wisconsin lost 2 of their last 3 football games to Iowa and Penn State, their last 2 Big Ten games. Auburn a little rattled right now.
I'll tell you, you see number 28 in the ball game. Brad Lester has come in at tailback, the redshirt freshman out of Lilburn, Georgia. And he'll fake it to him and throw in the flat. And that's to the fullback, Slaughter. And Jake is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, really. Dontez Sanders is the man who made the stop. Let me go back to the point I was about to make on the kick return. You can run out of the end zone and hold the ball behind the end zone line, and you still have not done anything that says you got to return it. But when you get it across the line as he did first, then your feet, doesn't matter where your feet are, you have committed yourself. And he saw that he made a bad error. Cooper Wallace and Cole Bennett, the 2 tight ends. They say officially no gain on the last play. Heavy pressure, throws it back to Aromashadu, breaks the tackle at the 15-yard line. The ball came out after he hit the ground.
Ron, you remember back to Aromashadu. He's the one against Georgia on 4th and 10. It had the 62-yard reception and fumbled that ball. Obviously, though, the ground caused that fumble. Good job by the officiating crew.
So it's 3rd down, and the line to make is the 19-yard line if you're the Auburn Tigers. And Anthony Bix, number 9, in the ballgame again. That is Anthony in motion to the bottom of your screen. Pass over the middle, got it complete to him, and they'll have the first down. His first catch of the afternoon. And as we mentioned just a while ago, a huge target at 6'5", 248 pounds. Langford finally put the stop on him, but he's alone.
And the amazing thing, Ron, Anthony Mix came into this game at 999 career receiving yards. He is now the 4th Auburn player on this field with over 1,000 yards receiving for their career.
Wallace in motion. And they'll hand it off to Lester. Lester tries to get around the edge and unable to do it. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Zalewski and Nick Hayden combining on the tackle. Now, Bob, let's talk about this. Auburn has already tried a sweep play at least 6 times in this ball game, and they might have noticed Wisconsin is well prepared for that. What do you do to counter, or what do you do to get the ball outside?
I think you just keep giving that football to Brad Lester and Kenny Irons. Ron, eventually those 2 backs will find a crack. Be patient if you're Auburn. Stay within your game plan.
Here comes pressure, and he falls down. Brandon Cox, Nick Hayden was right there, and Hayden will probably get credit for the sack.
And I'll tell you what, right now, Barry Alvarez, it seems, been through about 12 last football games of his career run this season in his farewell tour. But right now, it is official last football game as we look at Brett Bielema, who will be the new head coach. Things going well for Barry in his last game.
I'll tell you, that defense is really playing well, and one of the knocks on them, they lost 3 very good defensive players in the first 2 weeks of the season. Hayden now has 5.5 sacks on the season. They just have not had a real big play guy. But today, everybody playing in great harmony as this pass is thrown complete out to around the 30-yard line to Obamanu.
That was a great throw to Ben Obamanu, but well short of the first down. And you talk about this Wisconsin defense. They did graduate a lot of players. To put it in perspective, Ron, last year they were 9th in the country in total defense. This year, different story, 100th in the nation in total defense. But you're right, playing extremely well early in this football game.
Well, this unit as a whole is really doing a good job. This is Bliss standing by to kick it away to Williams. Here's the boot. Low wobbly spiral. It takes a big Auburn bounce. Williams going to have to run away from this one. And you see in disgust how he pops his hand to the side. He lost about 15 yards on that play. Well, let's take a look at our Dodge defensive playbook.
And I think pretty simple. As you look at this football game, there was one statistic that was even the least bit impressive of the Wisconsin defense, and that's intercepting the football, Ron. They came in with 15 interceptions here in the first series. Just a great defensive play by the corner, LaVon Rowan.
And, of course, LaVon has a brother who is the number 3 tailback on this Wisconsin football team. You see total defense, 100th in the NCAA. Auburn again shifting at the last moment. Calhoun, right side, has 5, has 10, and he's off at the 50, at the 40, at the 30. Finally going to be hit by Will Herring and will be knocked out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
And Ron, again, an excellent block by a wide receiver. Keep your eye on Jonathan Orr, number 9, as this football bounces outside.
Well, Montavis Pitts with a very poor effort, and then Herring will come over from the safety spot.
If you're going to run the football outside, you need those wide receivers to block. That's a pretty vicious block by a wide receiver, but another missed tackle by Montavis Pitts, the corner. And this guy's fast.
Brian Calhoun will get a breather. He's the second player in Division I history with 1,500 yards rushing and 500 receiving. That run right there was 59 yards from scrimmage. Swings this pass out in the flat. And it's Walker, Jamil Walker.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deborah Lenz. We interrupt the football game right now to update you on that breaking news of the mine collapse in Upshur County. 13 miners are trapped right now 1 to 2 miles underground at the Sago mine. We're told there was an explosion between 6 and 6:30 this morning. We're told that lightning may have been the cause, but at this point that is not clear. 19 miners were underground at the time, but 6 got out uninjured, and we're told there is no communication at this point with those trapped miners. We're told that family members, firefighters, law enforcement personnel, and emergency services are on the scene. Our very own Sabina Boggs is now live on the phone from the Sago mine. Sabina, can you hear me?
Yes, Deborah, I can hear you.
Tell me, what is the scene like right there at the Sago mine?
Well, Deborah, you mentioned that 6 of those miners were able to get out of the incident this morning, and I spoke with one man who was incredibly somber. He said his brother is still in the mine and that he said it is a bad situation. He was very upset. He was surrounded by his family, and speaking of families, there are about, I would say, 50 to 80 people that are standing outside about a mile from the mouth of the mine, and they're standing waiting for word to see if these other miners that are still trapped are able to get out. Right now, there are 2 rescue teams of 5 men each. I believe there are state and federal mine rescuers, and they are at the scene right now, and people are just waiting. There is a church in this area, and there are people inside the church standing on the footsteps of the church, and then cars parked all along it. Looks like people are just sort of gathering and at this central location, praying, hoping, and waiting for word from their friends and family members here.
Sabina, I was told that St. Joseph Hospital in Buchanan is on standby, and that the Sego Baptist Church there is basically acting as a relief center for family members and other folks. What have you heard about that?
Yes, that's exactly where we are. It is, its function right now is a relief center, and there are people that look like perhaps counselors or people who are trying to help with, I would assume, any kind of counseling that people would need. But the situation right now is it is still unknown, and that's the tough part, is that people are just waiting around, hoping that somebody can give them some kind of information. And the media is doing the same thing. There are several media outlets that are here, and we're sort of cordoned off in one specific grassy parking lot, and are told that we'll probably have to move shortly, and are waiting to see any kind of official spokesperson who can give us information about what's going on and if these rescue teams were able to find anybody successfully or not. And that's the situation right now. It's a little eerie. It's very quiet, but lots and lots of people standing around just waiting and looking very concerned.
It would be absolutely heart-wrenching for those families up there. Again, as you mentioned, there's a specially trained mine rescue team on the site. Sabina, do you know if they've actually gone into the mine at this point trying to rescue those miners that are still trapped?
Deborah, there was an effort earlier today, about 2 hours ago. They sent 4 folks in, and they basically were stopped at a wall of debris. They were about 5,800 feet into the mine when they came upon this wall of debris, and were not able to go beyond that. And now what we understand is there are 2 more sets of rescue teams that are especially trained to go in there with equipment and to try to go, penetrate that wall to get to the people that are still trapped 1 mile underground.
And Sabina, one more question for you. We've heard also that there could be methane gases. This could either have been caused by lightning or a methane gas explosion. And if there was a gas explosion and fire, unfortunately, it doesn't look good. Have you heard anything? Have they been talking about anything about a methane gas explosion and, what the consequences are of that with the miners in there?
We haven't heard anything about a methane gas explosion. We do know from people that have been here all morning that there was some kind of underground explosion. Why there was one or what exactly happened, the specifics of that are still unknown, and we'll definitely bring that information to you as we get it.
All right, Sabina Boggs live on the phone from the Sego mine in Upshur County. Thank you very much, Sabina. We'll be checking back in with you a little bit later. Again, once again, 13 miners are trapped in an underground mine in Upshur County at the Sego mine, 1 to 2 miles underground. We will bring you the very latest as the day continues. Now back to the bowl game.
An all-new Desperate Housewives. Then, an entire hit series in 1 hour? Yes! Everything you need to get up to speed.
Somebody sustain me!
In a new Grey's Anatomy special. It all starts Sunday at 8, 7 Central, only on ABC.
Well, Wednesday night, it's being billed as the best championship game in college football history. Number 1 USC has won 34 in a row, as within reach of an unprecedented 3rd straight national title. Meanwhile, number 2 Texas has won 19 straight, while averaging more than 50 points per game this season. SC and Texas for the national championship in the Rose Bowl game Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, right here on ABC Sports.
Ron, you talk about BCS bowls. This game right here has the feel of a BCS bowl game. Keep in mind, the highest payout revenue-wise of any of the bowls other than the BCS. They've averaged 67,000 people at this game over the last 15 years. Sold out again today. Put this one in the BCS category, in my opinion.
I'll tell you, Tom Mickle and his staff do just a totally outstanding job. We were down here last week for the Champ Sports Bowl game between Clemson and Colorado, and now back to do this one here, the Capital One. And the folks, we can see how hard they work and how many volunteers they have that are totally focused. He almost came out again, Bob. Let's go down to the sideline and Holly Rowe.
Guys, listening into the Auburn sideline, after 2 straight turnovers, there doesn't seem to be much panic right now. They call their quarterback, Brandon Cox, Cool Hand Luke. Tommy Tuberville said he has ice water running in his veins, so he does not appear to be shaken. But we have seen Kenny Irons come out of the game and Brad Lester get more carries after that fumble. So, guys, not too much panic, but some sense of urgency.
Well, thanks, Holly, and I would certainly think so, because let's be real honest. It's 10-0, and it could be a lot worse because of the interception and also the fumble recovery. Exactly. Auburn's defense has really played a lot better than the 10 points that they've given. Rodriguez in motion toward the sideline. Quick looker right over the middle. Courtney Taylor could not hold on. Thrown a little bit low.
And Ron Hawley talked about Brandon Cox, Cool Hand Luke. We've watched this guy a bunch. He's Cool Hand Luke when they're able to run that football with Kenny Irons on 1st and 10, play action on 2nd down, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. I'm not sure he's Cool Hand Luke when they're playing behind 10-0 and backed up in this situation.
Well,
this is a big test.
Look at this situation. I mean, play action means nothing. Exactly. Because they have not been able to run the ball at all. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. Wisconsin continues to shift around on defense, and they take this one straight ahead. It's going to be a gain of about 4.5 yards as Rogers comes over to make the stop on Kenny Irons. 4 seconds, down to 3. And that is the end of the first quarter. ABC Sports presentation of the Capital One Bowl will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Absolutely, positively has to get there. Guaranteed.
I'm listening. You're quite a guy. Hold on. Just came out of the dry cleaners.
Transporter 2, January 10th.
How many more innocent people are going to have to go to prison?
This Friday, ABC premieres a groundbreaking new series.
That cop set up my brother.
We're taking the case.
A team of unlikely heroes.
We only have one shot.
Fight to free the innocent.
It's about this.
And bring the guilty to justice.
They're hiding something.
Kyle MacLachlan, Jason O'Mara.
It's frightening how much I'm enjoying this.
Injustice. Series premiere Friday, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Get ready for the ride of your life.
Toyota trucks have a heritage for being tough and dependable, like Tundra, with 4x4 models that can handle 1,750 pounds of payload and can tow up to 7,100 pounds. And double cabs with class-leading ground clearance. Tundra delivers both on the road and on the job and is built right in Princeton, Indiana. Take the ride of your life in a Tundra. Toyota, moving forward.
If you've been in an accident, you need to protect your rights with a tough, experienced lawyer before you sign something you don't understand. Visit the lawyers at the Sutter Law Firm today. The lawyers at the Sutter Law Firm know your rights and are here to help you with the insurance companies. You need a lawyer that knows how to get you what you deserve. You don't have to go through it alone. Call the Sutter Law Firm today. 1-800-775-1514. That's 1-800-775-1514.
Does your bad credit have you staying up late at night and losing sleep? Rest easy. Paul White Chevrolet can help. Go online now, and Paul White Chevrolet will have you back on the road to good credit the very next day. Bankruptcy, divorce, or medical bills. Whatever your credit history, Paul White Chevrolet can help. Stop losing sleep and go online now. A brighter credit future awaits you the very next day. Remember, at Paul White, we make the deals right.
Here comes the judge. Judge Judy, that is, only on WCHS-TV.
You're watching the Capital One Bowl on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to Orlando. Thanks, Barry. That big sign across the way, and you can tell, obviously, with all the red, that is right in the middle of the heart of the Wisconsin section. He's a very popular guy because this is a man that gave a football team a transfusion, or several, and they needed it. They were flat. 1-10 his first year, but, boy, since then it has been grow and continue to grow. Cox deep in the pocket, steps up, throws a short pass over the middle, and that is incomplete as Cooper Wallace couldn't hold on. Cole Bennett, I beg your pardon, 87. Bob, the interesting thing is, like then, that was, everybody was covered, and he's trying to throw to a safety valve. And now are they going to say this is complete? I think they are.
And how many times, Ron?
Oh, okay.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. It's a spot foul. Automatic first down.
How many times you see the defender with the receiver in front of him have to come over the back, probably with the body right there. Lamar Watkins got him, but unfortunate. Cole Bennett, Auburn now run an opportunity to run the football on 1st and 10, which is their lifeblood.
So it's a first down at the 30-yard line. And Kenny Irons bounces it up the middle, tries to break a tackle, takes it across the 35 with an outstanding second effort, and Schellmacher finally puts the stop on him along with Dontez Sanders. And let's check down on the sideline with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, we saw Kenny Irons during one of the timeouts go over and take off his cleats. Now, there's a little bit of moisture in this ground, and it's making it slippery. We've seen Brandon Cox slip, and Kenny Irons have some problems. So what it is he took off his molded cleats and put on the screw-in kind of cleat. It's got a little bit bigger tongue that gets down into the ground, gives him a little more bite.
Okay, good observation there, Holly. We'll see if it helps him. Yeah, that's grabbing a little more right there, I'll tell you, as he took it over the top of the defensive back, and he'll have the first down at the 44. Zalewski on the stop.
Hey, tell Holly, tell Kenny Irons, just put those spikes on those cleats he wore at LSU in Baton Rouge where he had 218, and the ones he wore in Athens, Georgia, where he had 178. He had the right cleats on those nights now, I promise you.
Yep, just pretend there's a hedge around this building.
He reminds me of a smaller Adrian Peterson, the running back from Oklahoma. Ron, he tries to punish you, but he does take some hits himself.
Irons, 8 carries, 38 yards for him. Romano in motion. Little play action. Pressure, and he's got to be sacked. Monty. Joe Monty was the full Monty.
And I think Wisconsin, over the last month, Ron, has practiced against these play-action passes. Watch Joe Monty, who earlier in the year hurt his knee against Minnesota. Coaches said most guys would be out for the season. But you know what? Wisconsin's offense, a big play-action pass team. They practice against each other, offense against defense. No chance on that play-action right there.
Well, what the coaches said about him, he's the glue. Always seems to be the right place at the right time, and that's what he did right there. Second time that Auburn has been sacked in the ball game. Cox, quick look in, got it complete at the 42-yard line to Courtney Taylor, and tackled immediately. Ikagwora.
We have to lay a game, number 12 on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Boy, Ron, first down, so critical at any level of football. If you decide to throw it on first down, you better complete it, and you better not have a negative play, because you will play the rest of the series behind the stakes.
So second down and an absolute mile. 25 yards to pick up the first. Sets deep in the pocket, throws this one over the middle, in and out of the hands of number 9, Anthony Mick. And the big guy got tagged that time defensively. The hit was right as the ball got there. It was Roderick Rogers.
Roderick Rogers started all 12 games, breaks on this football. The ball thrown, Ron, I think a little bit late. And one thing Brandon Cox does have a tendency to do, he does hang on to that ball a little bit and try to make the perfect throw instead of just letting that thing go.
Well, it's third down. They want to hold on to it. They got to take it all the way to the Wisconsin 46-yard line. 10-0. Badgers lead it. Cox sets, throws long, and overthrows Obomano, and Obomano, with an ad-lib, had become open between two defensive backs. Here's today's Aflac trivia question. Barry Alvarez is 7-3 in bowl games. Who is the only coach with a better winning percentage with at least 10 bowl games? Answer coming up later on.
Sometimes in bowl games, because of so much time elapsed between your last game, teams show up, Ron, from who you had the last time they played. And this is not the same Auburn team that played Georgia and Alabama late in the year.
Bliss, beautiful kick, but it's a line drive again, and it's returnable. But he went down on a knee, and it turns into a great punt because no return, and he'll have it at the 14. That's a 58-yard boot. Brandon Williams needs to go for new cleats himself.
This is it. The Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. Get to your Chevy dealer now for low red tag prices on most Chevy vehicles. Like the 2006 Chevy Silverado half-ton, with better fuel economy than a comparable Ford F-Series half-ton. Get a Silverado half-ton Crew Cab LS two-wheel drive for the red tag price of $22,667 after cash back. Hurry, the Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. See your local Chevy dealer.
Before you go here, before you attempt this, and before you even think about going there, you need to go here. Cooper Discoverer tires, built to take you just about anywhere. Cooper tires, don't give up a thing. Go to coopertire.com for more information and a dealer near you.
Hi, can I help you? Looking for my date. He's very handsome, and his shoes are probably untied.
Olive Garden's new stuffed shells with shrimp and a creamy seafood sauce, or with sausage and Alfredo, starting at $9.95 at Olive Garden.
When my husband got hurt and missed all that work, I didn't know how we were going to get by. Luckily, Aflac was there to pitch in. Aflac gave us the cash we needed to help pay for some of the stuff that health insurance doesn't.
18.
Like groceries, car maintenance, even gasoline. When things happen, it's nice to know Aflac's there for you.
The female duck swims near.
Aflac. Ask about it at work. He won 3 Super Bowls, smashed NFL records, and is the greatest receiver of all time. But can Jerry Rice tango?
2, 3, 4.
Dancing with the Stars season premiere, Thursday, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Well, now it's time for the Pacific Life game summary. An early fumble. Watch 91 Jason Chapman strip the ball right there from Irons, and Wisconsin recovered it, but did not score off of it. But watch this run right here. Brian Calhoun, 8 rushes, 90 yards already in the ball game. It took that one for 59. And in the middle screen, Jason Williams making it look like child's play as he dives into the end zone and scores the touchdown. 75 yards for him on 3 grabs. Rentmeester comes in at fullback, number 34. Stocco lobs this one, has a man out there, and the tight end, Owen Daniels, makes the reception.
And Owen Daniels, who was a quarterback, really kind of like a wide receiver right now. As we watch this route, we're going to see Owen Daniels come down the field and run a corner route. An excellent job by the outside receiver, clearing. And then Owen Daniels, you see number 8, Brandon White, clearing out that outside 4th.
Got injured in the Michigan game, and they missed him in that contest. Straight ahead with Calhoun, and he will have very short yardage on the play, gobbled up by the middle of that front. Jackson, along with Dickens. Also, McClover was there to help out, number 75.
And Ron, big plays in this football game for the Wisconsin offense. You look at Calhoun, a 60-yard run, a 27-yard run. Brandon Williams, 30 yards reception. Usually that's because of missed tackles. When you have the speed Auburn does, and a lot of times that goes back to bowl preparation. How much did you practice tackling? Speed against speed, good against good.
Second down with Brandon White in motion, number 8. Pass out in the flat, and here comes Calhoun. And normally when you got one-on-one coverage, that's a very difficult tackle. But the Auburn defender, David Irons, was up to the task as he got a headgear on an ankle.
And a new offensive coordinator this year at Wisconsin, Paul Chryst. The thing he brought with him, he came from Oregon State, he spent time in the NFL, throw the ball to the running back, Ron. And that's what you see. Some of the Pac-10, some of the NFL philosophy reminds you a little bit of Reggie Bush style of play.
I'll tell you something. To me, the most impressive thing that Barry said about him, though, he said he changed how we practice on offense. And it sounds very simple, but it certainly has worked. Going to take a timeout, 11:28 until halftime, and Wisconsin still tossing a shutout, 10-0.
We all know how the story goes. Cinderella is supposed to be home by midnight. Girls aren't supposed to play with boys. And lightning's not supposed to strike twice. Small's not supposed to be big. Those who are down aren't supposed to rise up. And curses, they're not supposed to be broken. But if it all went down like it's supposed to, why would anybody play?
Introducing the all-new 2007 Chevy Tahoe, with available features like a power remote liftgate, power release fold and tumble second row seats, and rear view camera system. Chevy Tahoe, an American revolution.
The thrill of winning big. Sports betting is a $200 million a year business. I'm in. The rush of beating the odds.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
The risk of putting it all on the line. Pushing it too far. There's no such thing as too far. 2 for the money. Own the DVD.
Still getting dandruff? Neutrogena T-Gel shampoo helps eliminate dandruff starting after just one use. T-Gel shampoo. It works. Neutrogena.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Capital One Bowl. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Aflac. Ask about it at work. Chevrolet, an American revolution. And Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
Well, for the Wisconsin Badgers, number 11, Owen Daniels, the tight end who caught that long pass just a moment ago. He's a senior. Guess what his major is? He wants to do weather. He's studying atmospheric and oceanic studies, and we have to give the ABC affiliate in Madison a plug because he's been doing some weather on their station on Channel 27, the ABC affiliate in Madison, Wisconsin. Williams comes up to make the tackle right there, and they're close to the first down, but, well, it depends on where that line judge puts his foot down.
You talk about Owen Daniels. We could probably rub it in a little bit right now for those fans back in Madison watching this game because it's about 80, pretty high humidity. But how about that guy wants to be a weatherman?
Hey, I'll tell you what. Doesn't necessarily mean he wants. I mean, he's studying weather. He could wind up working for, you know, one of the national agencies, the weather.
Well, you know what's happened? That Weather Channel?
Yeah.
It's turned all these guys into superstars. I mean, there's like weatherholics out there. That's all they watch. I mean, those guys are celebrities now on that Weather Channel.
Well, you're right. They do a great job. But, you know, Owen is 6'3", almost 250 pounds. People would know exactly who he is as the first down is picked up, and they'll move the chains. And, again, Wisconsin holding on to the football and not allowing Auburn to get it back. We got 11-14 until halftime. And Wisconsin 10-0. 2 turnovers they got from Auburn. They were unable to score after those takeaways. That's the first third down conversion, Bob. Excuse me.
Sorry, Ron. How about these Badger fans showing up here? Keep in mind, their last game was at Hawaii, Ron. They took 6,000 people to Hawaii. These guys spend the bucks in Madison, wherever that sun shines, I promise you.
Yep, they do. Again, Auburn bounces around on defense. Stocco steps up, gets by one tackle, not going to get by the second one. How in the world he held on to the football, I don't know. And Antarius Williams was coming pell-mell and got a slap at the football, but John Stocco held on to it.
Ron, you're right how some guys just have the sense that the ball is about to be stripped. Watch Stocco. Antarius Williams has him in his sight. That was a tremendous job that won't show up in the stats right there of just anticipating that collision right there.
Put a little greater squeeze on it. And he picked up about 5 yards in the play. A 4.5. Stocco looks far sideline, throws this one complete, and that's going to be a first down as Jonathan Orr, the senior out of Detroit, is out there on the receiving end feeling very confident. And speaking of feeling confident, Holly Rowe, what do you got for us?
Well, as you guys mentioned, Paul Chryst was the new offensive coordinator for Wisconsin this year, and he opened up the quarterback job. When he came in during the spring, everybody had to start fresh. John Stocco had to win the position all over again. And guys, he has done a great job. The coaches say he was always tough, but he's improved in his decision-making this year. The fans have kind of been on Stocco in the past, but he is one of the only quarterbacks to lead them to back-to-back 9-win seasons. John Stocco making a new name for himself here this year.
Okay, Holly, I'll tell you what Stocco has done also, Holly. He has completed passes to 5 different Badger receivers, and this guy right here just continues to be a pain in the side of the Tigers. Calhoun for 9 more. Karibi Dede on the stop.
And a great job by Jason Posiak, the tight end, Ron, pulling around on the linebacker, Travis Williams. Right there, you see Posiak. Boy, I'll tell you what, this Wisconsin offense, we knew they were good as you see Posiak right there. That is a great block sealing off that linebacker. But you see the NFL influence, I think, a little bit, even in this run game.
Yeah. Also, the weather guy, Owen Daniels, had a good block on that play. 2nd down and 1. Maybe a down to play with. Play action. And throws that one complete. It'll be a first down at the 31-yard line, as Dede was right there to make the tackle on Orr.
And Ron, Paul Chryst brought up a great point yesterday talking about John Stocco. Paul Chryst comes in, new offensive coordinator, Oregon State. He didn't change John Stocco's mechanics. And you've been out there and you've had that golf pro try to get you to do all those things, changing those mechanics. If you're like me, that's tough to deal with. He let Stocco stay within his comfort zone as far as mechanics, really just worked on his footwork and more pre-snap read and just confidence in the passing game.
See the numbers 231 to 49 in total offense in this ball game so far. We have gone under 9 minutes to play. First half, Auburn creeping up. They come with the blitz, and Calhoun bounces it outside. Better contained, and they don't. 20, 15, and down to the 13-yard line. I mean, they caught him on the perfect play, and it was Chris Presley, number 44. Watch on the replay, an outstanding block.
The fullback, Presley, with a great block, and also Jason Palermo, 52, right here, Ron. Excellent block, again sealing off those fast linebackers from Auburn. Jason Palermo, 52, son of John Palermo, the defensive line coach. Excellent job of blocking these undersized Auburn linebackers. 18
yards on that running play right there, and Calhoun already. 12 carries, 118 yards on the day, and we still have 8:44 in this first half. Handoff goes to Walker. And he is knocked down after a gain of only about 1 in the play. And the way the crowd groaned, we thought for a moment he might have fumbled the football, but he did not.
Ron, obviously this game going completely in favor of Wisconsin right here. We're going to see that football.
He did fumble it, yeah. They got it right back.
Wow. You know, you want to give Brian Calhoun a break. And keep in mind, Booker Stanley, the backup tailback, not here on this trip, Ron, because of off-the-field issues.
This is the 11th play of the drive. They've got 10. They're looking for 17. From the 12, Stocco looks to throw, and he is going to be sacked right there in the middle. Wayne Dickens, the senior out of Lakeland, Florida, stepped through the blocker and made the pickoff. It looked as though he was going to throw a short safety valve, and it was smart. Said, nope, we're going to hold on to it.
And you get the feeling right now, you know, Auburn, Ron, is not going to go away. Too many good players, too much pride. Wisconsin's had a lot of opportunities. You mentioned earlier, it shouldn't be worse than this right now. It's only a 10-0 game. And if Auburn can hold them to a field goal right now.
Well, Wisconsin either didn't get the play in until very late, but they have decided to call a timeout. So we'll take it with them. 7:25 until halftime. Wisconsin leading 10-0 and threatening again.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deborah Lenz. We interrupt your bowl game right now to bring you an update on that breaking news about those 13 coal miners trapped in a mine in Upshur County in Tallmansville in Upshur County. There you see the map right there. 13 miners trapped, 6 miners made it out alive, and we're told that gases that are venting from the mine are keeping rescuers from venturing inside, and apparently there has still been no communication with the miners trapped inside that coal mine. Right now we have Governor Joe Manchin joining us live on the phone. And Governor, what can you tell us about the situation?
Well, Deborah, between 6 and 6:30 this morning, the first shift was going down to reopen the mine. It's been idle for the holidays. And there was another group following, and the other group heard the explosion, was able to retrieve, as you said. And there's 13 miners still that we believe that are still trapped and unaccounted for. Our prayers are with them and their family. We're doing everything humanly possible. Carbon monoxide levels are too high to safely send any rescue teams in right now. All of our state teams are monitoring that, and we're just hoping for the best that we can go and rescue them and bring them out safely.
All right, Governor Manchin, we know this is a very heartbreaking situation for all the families involved. We can only imagine what they must be experiencing. You know, last year was the safest mining record in history nationwide, and apparently this is the worst mining accident since January 2003. I mean, I can only imagine, you know, what the miners and state officials must be thinking about this horrific accident.
Well, Deborah, in 1968, the Farmington mine explosion, I remember it so vividly. My uncle, I lost my uncle there, and many of my friends who I went to school with were working that shift, and I know, you know, from past experiences what the families are going through right now, what everybody's going through, and our mine officials and everyone trying to do everything they possibly can. I can only assure the families that the state of West Virginia is and will do everything humanly possible, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we have a positive outcome, the best that we can do.
Now, we understand that a trained mine rescue team is on site, but, you know, as I mentioned before, they haven't been able to get in. Where are they? Are they just on the outside of the mine, just waiting for the gases to clear?
Right. I've been speaking to our people there at the site, and I'm on my way. I'm leaving Atlanta now, coming back home. And we're going to do everything, but we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot allow the rescue teams to enter while there's still unsafe levels and the readings are so high in carbon monoxide.
Right. We knew about that big explosion in Alabama, I think the country's worst, where miners got trapped and then another rescue team went in, and then there turned out to be another explosion. So we certainly don't want that to happen here in West Virginia.
No, it's awful. You learn from those experiences, but there's safe levels and safe tolerances that has to be before they can proceed, and that's what we're waiting for right now.
All right, Governor Joe Manchin joining us now live on the phone in regards to the 13 miners trapped in Upshur County. Governor, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, 13 miners trapped, 6 have made it out safely, and apparently there is still no communication with those miners. We're told that a wall collapsed due to an explosion, and we heard it might be caused by lightning, or it could have been a methane explosion. We're not clear at this time. We'll try to bring you more information as we get it throughout the day. Now back to the bowl game.
Each person has a unique way of seeing the world. That's why Pacific Life offers portfolio optimization for its variable products, a unique service that helps you and your financial professional identify an investment strategy that's right for you. And Pacific Life offers a full palette of investment choices to help you achieve your vision of your future. Ask your financial professional about Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
Dodge 7-7. We'll be back after the break.
Beer run. Beer run. Oh, beer run. Beer run.
This season, don't miss a thing from your sports or your beer. Grab a Miller Lite with more taste than Bud Light and half the carbs. Miller. Good call.
Ring finger?
Fair.
Orientation.
Hetero.
Check my teeth.
Emily's Reasons Why Not premieres next Monday, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
17-0, underdog Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez coaching his last game before he moves up to the athletic director's position. Tell us what happened here, Bob.
Ron, it's the second time they've run this route, Wisconsin. They take the outside receiver and they clear, and then they take Owen Daniels, the tight end, and work him to the corner, and they get him locked on the safety, Eric Brock. So Eric Brock's trying to play man-to-man, and he gets beat to the outside. Excellent design to that play. Really attacking zone coverage, but at some point, Ron, that zone coverage turns into man-to-man coverage, and Eric Brock having a tough afternoon.
Hey, he missed a tackle on the touchdown pass back in the first quarter, and was not exactly Johnny on the spot there. So as you said, Bob, it has been a tough afternoon for him so far. 12 plays, 86 yards, just over 5 minutes used on the drive. And this one is going to be a low liner. Picked up at the 14 by Lester. Brad Lester will be submarined at the 28-yard line. The answer to today's Aflac Trivia question, Barry Alvarez is 7-3 in bowl games. Who's the only coach with a better winning percentage with at least 10 bowl games? And the answer would be Pat Dye, Auburn University, 7-2-1 in his first 10. How about Stocco? Went 1 for his first 5, and then has completed his last 8. 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Irons. Boy, he puts the head down and butts the defender to the ground and will take it very close to a gain of 10 yards. Joe Monty finally came up with the tackle.
And right now, if you're Kenny Irons, Ron, we saw it down in Baton Rouge against LSU. Kenny Irons is capable because of how much effort he plays with, the tenacity he plays with, of just taking this entire Auburn football team and putting it on his back. He inspires his teammates because he is a tough son of a gun.
He doesn't have to talk much. He does it with those pads, doesn't he? 9 for 47 yards for him. Second down and very short. They'll give it to him again. And long striding this time at left tackle. And he'll have the first down out at the 43. Watkins finally put a stop to it.
Right now, if you're Auburn and Al Borges, we said they found their identity, Ron, as the season progressed. This is their identity. I don't care if it's 17-0 or not. Do what you do. Run the football and then play action pass. Don't panic.
But they got 6 minutes and 14 seconds left until intermission. They're down 17-0. And hit at the line of scrimmage. There's Zalewski, the middle linebacker. The leading tackler on the team for a loss, and he did it again.
How about that? And you talk about finding the identity of your team, Ron. The first 2 games of the season, I think Kenny Irons was about 4th on the depth chart. In the first game, he had 1 carry for 6 yards against Georgia Tech. Second game, 13 carries for 28 yards. They found themselves a player in this transfer from South Carolina.
So it's going to be second down and long. Lester in the ball game from the shotgun. They throw it to Lester, far sideline. Blockers in front. And it looked for a moment as that it might go for a long distance. But Levy, DeAndre Levy, was out there to stop the play, push it out of bounds at around the 46.
I know you're like I am, excited to watch Brad Lester. Kenny Irons will run you over. Brad Lester will make you miss and take it to the house. This guy actually started earlier in the year, beat Kenny Irons out, but had some injuries. But the competition over the next couple years, Ron, between those tailbacks is going to be interesting at Auburn.
Well, Lester again lines up at tailback as they leave him in to get some work and a breather for Kenny Irons. And they'll give it to him again. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, penetration, and that was Dontez Sanders, number 14, a senior out of Bedford, Ohio.
and he is their #1 tackler. You see him wearing number 14, really an Auburn-style linebacker, Ron. He was a strong safety. Great quickness right there.
Dantes, 89 tackles on the year, 3.5 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, at 48 solo. Like that one right there. Little play action now. Great protection, and the ball well overthrown. Rodriguez was the closest man to it.
And Ron, play action on 2nd down and 12 when there's very little, if any, threat of the run is difficult. That's why it's so important on 1st down if you're Auburn to gain positive yards running the football. You don't think Wisconsin's paying attention to the run on 2nd and 12, do you?
No, I think Brett Bielema, who is the future head coach at Wisconsin and is the defensive coordinator, I don't think he's looking for that surprise at all. 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversion. Here comes a blitz right up the middle. They pick it up. And the pass boy had a man open, and he threw it, and it hit the ground. Unable to hold on to it is Courtney Taylor, and Courtney was out there and could have had the 1st down.
And the thing we have loved about Brandon Cox is his accuracy, but isn't it amazing how the momentum of a football game changes accuracy? And right now, he had a wide open wide receiver and underthrew him, Ron.
Only 5 of 13 for him for 41 yards. Brandon Williams is back deep to receive this Cody Bliss punt. Cody's punts have been line drives this afternoon. See if he can get a little height on this one. He does. Very high. This is his best kick of the day. And in fact, he kicked it so high and so long, it's about 4 yards deep in the end zone. 47 yards in the booth. We'll be back with more from the Capital One Bowl in Orlando.
There's an accident in this country every 5 seconds. Allstate thinks that's too often. So they have new rewards to encourage you to drive safely. Now, for each year you go without having one of these, you'll get $100 off your deductible. Introducing Deductible Rewards. It's time to make the world a better place to drive. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
Didn't get what you want this holiday? Now you can. It's New Year's Red Hot Deal Days at Verizon Wireless. Time to get a great deal on a cool phone. For today only, you can get the LG VX 6100 camera phone for just $29.99. And when you buy one, you'll get a second camera phone free. But the days are done today, so call, visit us online until midnight, or stop by a Verizon Wireless store to take advantage of the nation's most reliable wireless network. Verizon Wireless.
Ted Ferguson, Bud Light Daredevil. Today for Bud Light, I'll attempt my most difficult stunt so far. I will stay 2 full minutes past 5 on a Friday.
Hey, Ted.
See you, Janice.
Hey, time! Get him up. Ted, get out. Ted, can you hear me?
I need a Bud Light.
Don't you give up on me, Ted.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Put that on my review.
Oh, yeah.
They combined to win an astounding 712 games and 4 national titles. Now, fresh at the heels of improbable conference championships, Joe Paterno and Bobby Bowden meet in the FedEx Orange Bowl. It's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on ABC. I know I'm going to be in front of the tube on that one, Bob Davey.
Well, there are some great games closing out this season. And that Ohio State Notre Dame game in Tempe tonight might be a shootout.
Stocco deep in the pocket. Out and up. Got a man there. Complete at the 50-yard line. 45. Jonathan Orr. And Orr finally tackled at the 36-yard line by Pitts. 44 yards in the play.
And Ron, if you're going to run a double move by the wide receiver, you have to have great protection. This route takes time to throw. Nobody near John Stocco. And here is the out and the up. And he beats Montavis Pitts, who really was picked on last year, playing corner opposite Carlos Rogers. Beat out this year, but wow, this Wisconsin offense on fire right now.
I'll tell you, I can't remember the last time I saw Auburn's defense give up this many big plays. 44 yards on that last one. That's 4 plays of 20 yards or better. And here goes Calhoun, lost his footing and fell at the 30-yard line. Presley and also Palermo with good blocks on the play. Ron Franklin, Bob Davie, and Holly Rowe at the Capital One Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Obviously, there were no games played yesterday because January the 1st fallen on Sunday. This game right here, the Capital One Bowl, has had some exciting finishes, but if Auburn's going to be a part of it, they got to wake up and get a wake-up call on the offensive side of the football. And right now, they're going to stop the Badgers as well. 2nd down and 5. John Stocco, left side, tight end. Hold on, Owen Daniels, no. Just a little bit too far.
Ron, Auburn putting everybody up to stop the run and man-to-man coverage with the safety, Will Herring on Owen Daniels. Great play call right there.
You remember what Paul Chris said yesterday? I've got written down here, he said, key as far as the offense. We got to get him going early, and we're going to do just that. Said he came here as a quarterback, and he's got a really good idea about the offense and what we're trying to do. 3rd down, line to make is the 25.5-yard line. Pass to the near sideline, almost intercepted, and that would have been good night. I'm telling you, Kevin Hobbs, a senior out of Tampa, Florida, by way of Texas Southern, had a 6-pointer in his hand.
And Ron, you are exactly right. Auburn playing some different players right now, trying to get a spark. And the old saying, there's a reason that guy's a DB and not a wide receiver. I didn't see that call right there late. I see Barry over there with Donovan Raioli, though, getting a piece of him on that sideline. So I have to think it may be on 53.
Dead ball, personal foul, 53 on the offense, 15 yards for the school offense.
That's usually an indicator when the head coach is over there chewing on an offensive player. Now he's going to chew on the official a little bit.
The official a little bit. But you know something? We talked about Raioli yesterday. He's in the middle of a lot of things, little chippy things that happen from time to time. He loves to mix it up.
And Ron, I'm telling you now, Wisconsin, as good as it's gone, has squandered some scoring opportunities.
Yep, they had the ball at the 35.5-yard line, and now they're going to punt it away from the 46-yard line. As Robert Dunn is the deep man, and DeBush stands back to punt. Nice high boot. Spiral is going to turn over. Fair catch is called for and made at the 7-yard line by Dunn. And we'll stay right here with 2:50 to play. Wisconsin 17-0. And Bob, let's talk about strategy. And what would you do if you're the Auburn Tigers right now? What do you do to just get energized somehow?
I do what I do best. I don't care that it's 17-0. I don't care that there's 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the half. I stay in character, Ron, and I run the football on 1st down. But how about those statistics right there? 311 yards to 73. Unbelievable.
So they scrimmage from deep in their own territory. Ran over a man, continued to hustle, and let's check in with John Saunders.
Alongside of Craig James and Aaron Taylor, I want to tell you, coming up at halftime, we'll look at what's going to happen behind us here, the Fiesta Bowl, plus we'll look at all the talent in the Rose Bowl.
You know what, the thing about the Notre Dame offense, a lot of people don't talk about, is those big guys up front. He used to play there. We'll talk a little bit about them when halftime comes up.
Guys, we're also going to take a look at the stars of the Rose Bowl. There's going to be some big ones, a lot of Heisman finalists and winners on the field.
Stars weren't as big as him normally, though. I don't think so. Ron, back to you.
Okay, John, thanks very much. One of the things that the Tigers have not been able to do is this running play is not only going to be stopped, he's going to be thrown down for a 3-yard loss. The two main weapons at wide receiver, Arumoshadu and Obamano. Obamano, 1 catch, 10 yards. Arumoshadu only 1 for 6. They got to get the football to those two guys, Bob.
And when the quarterback is having accuracy problems, as Brandon Cox is, it doesn't matter how good those wide receivers are, Ron, but you're right. I mean, those guys are playmakers.
See, there's Oromoshadu standing on the sideline right now. Trey Smith and Brad Lester, the two men in the backfield. Cox steps up into the pocket, going to try to run it, and gets by one tackler and is stopped at around the 26-yard line. Newkirk made the tackle, number 54.
Ron, Auburn with 3 timeouts. Obviously, the clock stopping on the first down conversion. Plenty of time right now. Just get some confidence, get some momentum going into that locker room right now if you're this Auburn offensive football team.
Well, I talked about Oromoshadu and Obamano not having the one catch apiece. You know, there's a completion right there out to the 38-yard line. There's Obamano. Courtney Taylor and Anthony Mix also are speedy and large receivers. Just one of the 4, and you could come close to getting points on the board on any given play.
And Obamano helped Brandon Cox out, Ron, because that ball was thrown behind him.
Yep, it sure was. Big stride, throws it back, and here is Courtney Taylor. Tries to break the tackle, and that's a nice job in the open field as he was slung to the ground by Rowan. I'll tell you, Lamont Rowan, an interception, and we'll check at halftime to see how many tackles he has, but we know at least 4 or 5 in the first half of play. So a timeout has been called, and we have 51 seconds showing on the clock. 17-0, and if you're just joining us, the SEC against the Big Ten, always good, solid competition. I'm surprised. We did Auburn 3 times this year, and I'm with you. You can give credit to Wisconsin, but these guys right here are not looking the way they did earlier.
And I'll tell you what, as well as I know Barry Alvarez, he's surprised, Ron, because we mentioned before he's 0-3 against the Southeastern Conference in bowl games, 7-0 against everyone else. But you talk about Barry Alvarez coaching his last football game. I think the greatest testimony to Barry Alvarez is that Wisconsin's administration had the confidence to turn the whole athletic program over to Barry Alvarez. How many times now in modern-day football, Ron, do you see football coaches becoming athletic directors? Everybody's hiring business guys. Everybody's hiring PR guys. This is a football coach that's so well respected. They put the entire athletic department in his hands.
He's
and
been
I
a
think he'll
classy
do a
guy.
great job.
He really has. And, you know, the kids and in fact, the alumni who were at the luncheon a couple of days ago jumped to their feet and gave him a huge ovation. He's a very popular man. Because, as I said, he took a program that was not just floundering. I mean, they were down and out. Second down. Cox. Pressure. Gonna be sacked, and that's Zalewski. The football, did it come loose? And now a flag, and we got pushing and shoving between the two different teams. Boy, Reddick lost a headgear. Andre Levy. Here comes the call. Personal foul, Auburn.
Ron, interesting to see if you take that headgear off.
After the play was over, dead ball, personal foul, 6-6. It's an ejection.
So Troy Reddick has been ejected from the football game. The man he just came to talk to is Hugh Knoll, the offensive line coach.
And let's keep our eye. He is the right offensive tackle at the top of the screen. Almost looked like the Wisconsin player pulled that helmet off. Yeah, he did right there. And a little late hit from the backside. Obviously, the second guy always gets caught, Ron.
You're right, though. He had his helmet ripped off by Nick Hayden, and Hayden is down there with a smile on his face, and Reddick is going to sit for the remainder of this bowl game. He is ejected at the 42nd mark of the second quarter.
You know what, Ron? If you're Auburn and you have a pulse, use this to your advantage right now and rally a little bit.
Well, it's 3rd and 30. It's going
to be hard to rally
with
right
a
now.
capital R. Obamano in motion. And keep it on the ground. Has 5, has 10. Puts the head down. Had it off at 15 and now 17 yards. Brad Lester. What a burst off the left tackle side, running behind Marcus McNeil. Stillmacher finally put a stop on him.
And Ron, this is an Auburn team that's 22-2 over the last 2 years. They are unraveled right now.
So they head to the locker room. And let's go down to the sideline, and Holly Rowe is with Coach Tuberville. Holly.
Coach, you're asking for some sort of an explanation, one of your assistants. What do you need explained?
Well, they ripped our guy's helmet off, and then they threw our guy out of the game. But, you know, we just lost our poise. We shouldn't do that. We don't have any rhythm for some reason. They've got all the rhythm. They got all the momentum. You know, we've got to find our poise going out the second half.
Beside the turnovers, what surprised you the most about the first half?
Well, we hadn't got any rhythm. We hadn't been able to throw the ball down the field at all. They're getting good bull rushes on us. We got to stop penetration when we're throwing short passes, making Brandon throw off his back foot. You know, we just got to get some, we have to get some rhythm.
All right, it's all about rhythm in the second half for Auburn, guys.
Okay, Holly, our score at halftime, Wisconsin 17 and Auburn nothing. Now let's send you out to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl in Tempe, Arizona. And all I can say is Big John Saunders, don't let him rip your headgear off, partner.
Really? Exactly. You know, you got to be shocked. We knew that Wisconsin would come to play in this game because it was Barry Alvarez's final game as the head coach. But that defense has been terrific.
Emotions, man. Emotions play such a big part of a football game. When you talk about Wisconsin right now, that they don't allow Auburn any rhythm. You know, there's no rhythm there that the coach was talking about because his team doesn't have any enthusiasm out there. They're getting whipped up front. Right now, Wisconsin's offensive and defensive lines are just nailing them. You can't get rhythm.
And you want to talk about something that's impressive, Auburn's defense. They're getting manhandled right now. They came into this game being ranked 9th, but they're totally off balance right now between Stocco and Calhoun. Auburn doesn't know what to do, and they do not have an answer. They got to figure something out at halftime.
All right, coming up here at halftime, we're going to talk about the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. That'll happen right behind us, plus the Rose Bowl after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles.
Yeah, no.
All you ever say is no.
And yet you keep calling.
That's it. I'm coming to find you. I am tired of no.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my bright yellow shirt.
You're going down.
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
I should work at Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
There are 2 words that give you a sense of belonging, even when you're far from home. And when you hear them, you know you're with family.
War Eagle.
2 simple words.
War Eagle.
Uniquely Auburn. War Eagle.
Team, this familiar destination has developed a new technology industry base we need to know more about. You will insert into the area using the region's heavy lift. The diverse population base will make it easy for your team to assimilate into the local community. Your first objective will be to meet a series of business contacts. Primary locations include downtown Orlando, the massive Orange County Convention Center, plus other commercial centers across the region. These include incubators for new technology-based companies, a top research university, and a renowned research park. Intel reports a convergence between the area's technology and entertainment industries, positioning the region's high-tech corridor for long-term economic growth. Scout the area's famed entertainment and recreation, but recon the cultural and underground art scenes too. Your mission is to discover how other companies can infiltrate this fast-growing region. Sounds like a choice assignment. Out.
Trying to find a reputable debt counseling service you can trust? Call Consumer Credit Counseling Service. Compared to the other credit counseling services, we have more years than other services combined. Consumer Credit Counseling Services have local certified professionals who can offer immediate solutions with long-term results. We can also help with housing, getting you into the house of your dreams, or help with keeping you there. Take the hassle out of choosing a debt counseling service. Call Consumer Credit Counseling today and enjoy debt relief without the grief. If your claim for Social Security has been denied, your time to appeal is limited. You need a lawyer who can help you through this confusing process. Call the law firm experienced in handling Social Security claims. Call the Sutter Law Firm. The lawyers at the Sutter Law Firm understand what it takes to get your claim processed, and they will work with you to make sure it's done correctly. Applying for Social Security benefits is a confusing process. Make sure you get the help you need. Call the Sutter Law Firm.
The Mountaineers and Bulldogs, January 2nd on WCHS.
Here, and you know, Brent just said this is going to be fired up on offense and on both sides of the sideline. Notre Dame's offense is good. 2,000-yard receivers. They got the 1,000-yard rusher, and we all talk about Brady Quinn. It's really the offensive line. I know the big fellow next to me would love to think that it's just the guys up front, but you know, when you talk about that Irish offensive line, they have 4 seniors, they have 1 junior, they're experienced, and because of their consistency and their domination up front, they're able to allow the nice guys in the backfield to do their thing.
And that junior is Ryan Harrison. He's done a good job as the rest of those guys. And they'll have their hands full, guys, going against a very good Ohio State defense. But going back to the other side of the ball, we heard Gary talk about Troy Smith. Troy Smith is a great dual-threat quarterback, but it's Antonio Pittman that doesn't get enough credit for the Buckeyes. Over 1,200 yards this year. He's big, he's physical, and it wasn't until Antonio Pittman started running the ball that the Buckeye offense exploded.
Everybody is so incredibly fired up for this game, but of course we're most fired up for the Rose Bowl, which is going to be just a terrific matchup between number 1 USC and number 2 Texas. Now think about this. You've got 2 Heisman Trophy winners, you got 4 finalists, and probably 2 front runners for next year. This game is just loaded with talent.
He plays the quarterback position, which is already difficult enough, but the fact that he's able to use his athletic ability almost like another running back, but he's really, I think, earned a lot of respect from players around the world.
What he's done for that football team speaks volumes. He's really matured into a quarterback, being able to beat you with his arm and his feet.
You just need to not let him win the game, you know, by doing the things that he can do. If we're in the right places, then we can minimize his effectiveness, but he's going to be a big part of the game.
I mean, every play we're going to know where he's at, whether he's in the backfield, split out wide. I mean, just wherever he's at, we're going to make sure we know.
I've never seen anybody like him. He jumps sideways, and he does things that you can't believe he does, but when he hits the ground, he's full speed again. You hold your breath every time he touches it.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it all the way through Wednesday night. I cannot remember a game more anticipated than this one.
With all the superstars you have on the field, there's no doubt that this is going to be a game where everybody wants to watch. But you know what? The thing I've been observing is that the University of Texas, led by their quarterback, Vincent Young, has done all the right things leading up to this game. There have been weeks since they last played, and they haven't said anything stupid in the newspaper. They've been focused on their job because you can easily, as a player and a team, get lulled into the bigness, right? And the bigness of the event sometimes takes away from the execution on the field, which would have beaten Texas.
And the proof will be in the pudding, guys. We'll have to see how Texas did prepare, because this will be nothing like they've ever experienced. The magnitude of this ball game and not knowing what to expect with the media and giving interviews to Japanese television stations, it's crazy. But how they handle that is going to be a big factor. And I would think coming into this that USC would have a little bit of experience.
They like football over there, too.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, you can also tell that it's around Christmas time and New Year's. Guy keeps talking about pudding and food and everything else instead of football. I want to remind everybody else, of course, what else is coming in the Bowl Championship Series. The Sugar Bowl tonight, West Virginia and Georgia. The Orange Bowl tomorrow night. Penn State and Florida State coaches there. Iowa facing Florida today, and Chris Leak goes 24 yards to Dallas Baker for a touchdown.
You know what, Chris Leak and this offense, they're going to get better and better. Every week that Urban Meyer has with these football players, their team will get better, and they're playing well today.
Leak had 2 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, Alabama comes up with a win over Texas Tech on this Jamie Christensen 46-yard field goal with 5 seconds left.
To Texas Tech's credit, they really hung in this ball game, but in the end, Alabama just overpowered them and found a way to win.
Really surprised. It seems like Christensen's been kicking those every single week of the season. We have a couple of notes. The Miami Hurricanes coming off that terrible, terrible defeat they had. They had fired 4 coaches, 3 on the offensive side, 1 on the defensive side, and Devin Hester has announced that he is going to go pro. Meanwhile, in the National Football League, there's been 6 coaches who've been fired in the last couple of days. All right, guys, what's going on in the second half?
Second half, you know what? Auburn has to get that rhythm that Coach Tuberville was talking about. And the only way they get rhythm is to come out and play with passion. They have to match the passion and the intensity of Wisconsin, or they can forget about it. This game's over.
I'll tell you what, the mismatch that they have is with their offensive line. They have to go back to their basics. You have to get, when your offense is struggling, go back to basics. Pick your 3 best runs and run them left and right. They have a definite overpowering size over that defensive line of Wisconsin. They got to take advantage of it.
Don't forget, too, that there have been a lot of teams come from behind in this bowl season.
All right, throw him back right now to a guy who definitely does not have a fro. Ron Franklin, back to you.
Thanks, John. Now let's watch and listen to the University of Wisconsin Marching Band under the direction of Mike LaCrone.
I'd like to redeem my...
The answer's always no.
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
Should have worked at Capital One. What's in your wallet?
I love this place. This is home. After graduation, I moved back here. Connecting with people in the community was very important. My degree from University of Wisconsin-Madison enabled me to be a pharmacist and participate in community affairs. Every person who comes out of that university is going to affect hundreds of other lives in the community and in the world.
As much as I want to find my other half, ring finger,
Fair.
orientation.
Hetero.
Check my teeth. I need to consider the possibility that maybe I'm already whole.
I am through getting involved with guys who are not available.
But that's the thing about possibilities.
You used to say there's no such thing as accidents.
That's right. Was that an accident? They're infinite.
Hi.
Hi. He really is a dish. Just don't drop the ball. You never know who might be waiting in the wings. Bite me.
Heather Graham in Emily's Reasons Why Not. Premieres next Monday, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Welcome back to the Capital One Bowl. Now let's watch and listen to the Auburn University Marching Band under the direction of Dr. Rick Good.
We're big football fans at Capital One. And once again, we're proud to bring you the Capital One Bowl. We also have another tradition, celebrating the unsung heroes of college football, the mascots. Each year, 12 of the most talented college mascots compete in the Capital One Mascot Challenge. Well, the competition is over and millions of you have voted. It's time to announce the Capital One Mascot of the Year.
Them games have been something special. The laughs, the tears, the contusions, the comas. But now it's time to announce the winner. We wish we could hand out a silver and a bronze, but our medical bills have left us only enough for a gold. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything else, your 2005 Capital One Mascot of the Year, Herbie Husker, University of Nebraska. What's in your wallet?
When it absolutely, positively has to get there. Guaranteed.
I'm listening. You're quite a guy.
Hold on. Just came out of the dry cleaners.
Transporter 2, January 10th.
Welcome back to the Capital One Bowl. Now let's join the halftime festivities with multi-platinum recording artist Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
trying to be jumping jack. Jump on in, jump, Joey. Like a round tree, rope right off your track. Whoa, you got it. Like a round tree, rope right off your track. Whoa, whoa, watch it, watch it.
For the 35th year in a row, the Chevrolet Scholarship Program salutes college football's finest. Chevrolet's 2005 Offensive Player of the Year is USC tailback Reggie Bush. The 6-foot junior rushed for over 1,600 yards, leading the Trojans to a perfect 12-0 record. The runaway Heisman Trophy winner was also a dangerous all-purpose threat, amassing 18 total touchdowns and averaging more than 10 yards every time he touched the ball. Chevrolet's 2005 Defensive Player of the Year is Ohio State linebacker A.J. Hawk. The 6'1", 240-pound senior led Ohio State in tackles for a third straight year and capped a stellar Buckeye career by winning the Lombardi Trophy and by being named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Chevy is proud to honor Reggie Bush and A.J. Hawk, athletes who use their ingenuity and determination to achieve their best. To date, Chevrolet has proudly donated over $8.5 million to American colleges and universities. Chevy, an American revolution.
Team, this familiar destination has developed a new technology industry base we need to know more about. You will insert into the area using the region's heavy lift. The diverse population base will make it easy for your team to assimilate into the local community. Your first objective will be to meet a series of business contacts. Primary locations include downtown Orlando, the massive Orange County Convention Center, plus other commercial centers across the region. These include incubators for new technology-based companies, a top research university, and a renowned research park. Intel reports a convergence between the area's technology and entertainment industries, positioning the region's high-tech corridor for long-term economic growth. Scout the area's famed entertainment and recreation, but recon the cultural and underground art scenes too. Your mission is to discover how other companies can infiltrate this fast-growing region. Sounds like a choice assignment. Out.
Welcome back to the Capital One Bowl. Now let's rejoin the halftime festivities with multi-platinum recording artist Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Now I stroll through the city like a big old alley cat, with a pinstripe suit and a big bad voodoo hat. I don't believe I ever saw him without a kitten on his head. And no one swings his on to the big band voodoo band. Hey, Mr. Pinstripe Suit. Hey, Mr. Heidi, Heidi, ho. Well, I know you got the answers. We all want to know. Mr. Wingtip Shoes. Hey, Mr. Always on the go. Well, I know you got the answers. We all want to know.
Happy anniversary from Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and the All-American.
We'll return with the second half of the Capital One Bowl after this from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
How many more innocent people are going to have to go to prison?
We're going to get you out. I'm not just going to sit back and let this happen.
Kyle MacLachlan, Jason O'Mara.
You're not getting emotionally involved here, are you?
Kid's never met his father.
When I want to know the meaning of the words injustice, I look here.
Injustice. Series premiere Friday at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Trying to find a reputable debt counseling service you can trust? Call Consumer Credit Counseling Service. Compared to the other credit counseling services, we have more years than other services combined. Consumer Credit Counseling Services have local certified professionals who can offer immediate solutions with long-term results. We can also help with housing, getting you into the house of your dreams, or help with keeping you there. Take the hassle out of choosing a debt counseling service. Call Consumer Credit Counseling today and enjoy debt relief without the grief. If your claim for Social Security has been denied, your time to appeal is limited. You need a lawyer who can help you through this confusing process. Call the law firm experienced in handling Social Security claims. Call the Sutter Law Firm. The lawyers at the Sutter Law Firm understand what it takes to get your claim processed, and they will work with you to make sure it's done correctly. Applying for Social Security benefits is a confusing process. Make sure you get the help you need. Call the Sutter Law Firm.
The Mountaineers and Bulldogs, January 2nd on WCHS.
You're watching the Capital One Bowl on ABC Sports.
Well, the first half stats, 17-0 to score, but the numbers, look at 311 to 116 for the Auburn Tigers at 2 turnovers, and believe it or not, that didn't cost them.
You're exactly right, Ron. I think if you're Auburn right now, don't look at the top of that ladder just now. It may look too high. Just look at the first step.
Chip away.
Chip away.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. I believe Auburn goes on defense here to start the second half.
Well, what do they have to do, though, Bob?
Stop. I think the first thing defensively, Ron, quit giving up big plays. They missed a lot of tackles in the first half, which you see in bowl games sometimes because you're not used to the speed after that month layoff. And then on offense, keep running the ball, or start running the ball if you're Auburn, because don't put it all on Brandon Cox. He's struggling right now at quarterback.
Okay, so we're about to find out in the second half who will be the real big, bad voodoo daddy.
I tell you like big, bad voodoo daddy now.
That's fun music, I'm telling you. Ray Benson, Sleep at the Wheel, that's the country and western version. And all of those are very, very popular. Oh, the game summary. Now it's time for the Pacific Light game summary. Brian Calhoun, 123 yards in the first half of play. And that's on only 13 rushes. Stucco, 1 for 5. He started it 10 of 17. He finished it. 2 touchdowns and 1 touchdown and an interception. And this pass right here picked off.
On that interception on the first series of the game.
Rowan, yeah.
Brandon Cox, so much success late in the season. You know, the last game against Alabama, I mean, they just knocked Alabama out right out of the box. That interception, the first play, first series of this game, got him back on his heels.
Well, here's a line drive kick, and it'll go out of the back of the end zone, Matt Clark. And Holly Rowe, let's check with you down on the sideline. A lot of things buzzing during halftime, huh?
You're right, and not the least was Barry Alvarez buzzing at his team. He said he told his players at halftime, talk with your pads, not your mouth. He said this is not Wisconsin football. He is very unhappy with the unsportsmanlike penalties. He has really chastised his guys. The other factor, I asked him how the heat was affecting his team, and he said he's got concerns. The defensive line is so thin. He said his defensive linemen have complained. They are very tired, so see how that plays out with Auburn's running game here in the second half.
Okay, and while, Holly, it is something that, you know, we are going to have to keep a close eye on, because that defensive line, they were talking about using the All-American Joe Thomas from the offensive side to put him on defense. And I'm not sure the offense is going to want to give him up. Running play with Calhoun, and they'll go for short yardage as Travis Williams will open the second half with the tackle. Last time Auburn won a game after trailing by 17 was 2002 to come back to beat Syracuse 37-34 in 3 overtimes.
He knows how important this first defensive series of the second half is, Ron, just to get some attitude and get some energy with his football team, Tommy Tuberville.
Well, the plays that Wisconsin has really liked working this afternoon with the run is over to the left side, but they're going to try to throw it. Looks like everybody's covered, and Stocko's going to run it and will be tackled at about the line of scrimmage by Travis Williams.
Ron, this is a good Auburn defense. David Gibbs, the defensive coordinator, came from the Denver Broncos. But this Auburn defense is not a big defense. They've been exposed, a little bit late in the season, but they did play well against Alabama. Huge 3rd down and 7 right now.
Wisconsin 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. The line to make here is the 30, so they got to take it about 7 yards if you want to keep the drive going. Stacco back in the pocket. Pressure backside. That ball was fumbled. It is on the turf. Auburn says they have it, but the officials have not signaled as yet. Football goes to Auburn, and that's T.J. Jackson who made the recovery. McClover knocked it loose.
And Ron, the freshman offensive tackle, Urbick, right here at the top, I believe, is going to be beat by McClover. I stand corrected.
That's Joe Thomas.
Is Joe Thomas, who many think is a first-round draft choice. And Stanley McClover just got right in the middle of him. He was expecting the speed rush, Ron, and McClover just bull rushed him and knocked him right back into quarterback. And there's that spark if you're the Auburn football team.
Well, the play is obviously under review, or some of the officials are leaving the field. Actually, they've had to run all the way down to the other end of the field. And Ron Gilbert, our longtime friend, a now retired SEC official, is the man who is handling the replays today, and he is the one who is down there right now looking at the tape. And Barry is hoping that they will change what happened on the field, but it sure looked like a very good call that the ball was knocked loose and it was a fumble.
And Ron, this Auburn defense had only forced 14 turnovers all year in comparison to Wisconsin, who had forced 25.
There's Ron Gilbert.
After review, the play stands as called on the field. It was ruled a fumble recovered by Auburn. First down Auburn.
So that makes it official. McClover with his 8th sack.
And again, McClover just strips that football out of there. That's an excellent call, in my opinion. The arm was not going forward. And Quentin Groves, 54, comes up with the fumble recovery.
So Auburn sets up shot. 1st and 10 at the Wisconsin 18. Little play action, wants to throw. He was hit as he threw the ball in a dangerous situation. Arumusha not really close, but that ball could have been picked.
And Ron, we talk about one step at a time. Don't look at the top of that step ladder. The Auburn defense took the first step. I got to be honest, I don't like that call right there. A lot of adrenaline on this Auburn football team, a lot of emotion, enthusiasm. Line up and run it on 1st and 10. Your quarterback's struggling.
You see the number of turnovers, 2 against the Auburn Tigers and 1 against Wisconsin. Obamano is the man who is in motion, and they go with a draw play. 5 yards, 10, headed for the end zone, and stopped at the 5 is Kenny Irons. And it is Stellmacher who finally made the tackle on Irons.
And Ron, I'm telling you, Kenny Irons, we've seen it before. He plays so hard. He plays so aggressive. Let him take the football and take this football team on his back. McClover made a play on defense. Give the ball to Kenny Irons. Let him make a play and put it in the end zone for you.
Guess who just came in the ball game at defensive end? Defensive tackle, actually. 72. Joe Thomas, the offensive tackle for Wisconsin. And the play is going to be not only stopped, but stopped for a loss. Zalewski was out there to make the tackle, and also pressuring on the play was the young fellow we were just talking about, big number 72. There's a look at Joe Thomas. He knew he was going to get some plays. I said, you like this? And he said, hey, I was getting bored just going through offensive snaps. He said it brought a degree of, say, hey, a little bit of excitement here, something that I really could, get off on.
What a great time to put him in on defense after you give up the sack, which caused the turnover.
2nd down and goal. Play action. Gonna bring it back to the near side, throws out the tight end Cooper Wallace at the 5, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 2. 21, Levon Rowan made the tackle, and how many times have we said that today? Levon Rowan.
There's the Auburn offense we're used to seeing, the play action. Cooper Wallace, the tight end, actually caught that ball behind the line of scrimmage. Boy, anybody that said Wisconsin didn't have much team speed, didn't watch 21 Levon Rowan on tape, Ron, because he closed right there on Cooper Wallace, saved the touchdown.
It is 3rd down and goal. The ball is 2.5 yards away. 2 of 7 today on 3rd down conversions. Tommy Tuberville does not want a field goal. He wants a touchdown, and I believe on the left side is Ed Wallace, the tight end, came out of his stance.
Timeout on the field. Off 16, Wisconsin.
So Stellmacher called a timeout, and there will not be a 5-yard penalty against Auburn. We'll be right back.
Chrysler Pacifica. Room, safety features, and comfort for 6.
You'll take care of my baby, right?
Or 12, depending on how you look at it.
Now qualified lessees can lease a Chrysler Pacifica touring model for just $259 a month.
Okay, you never saw...
What was that?
Crunchy!
Guys, I got it.
Want something crunchy?
Guys?
Taco Bell is open late. Feed your need for all the crunchy, grilled, marinated, spicy, and melty taste you can only get at Taco Bell. Want to spice up the night? Think outside the fun. Open till midnight or later.
Hi, I'm Scott Blum, Chairman, CEO of Buy.com, the Internet Superstore. Since founding the company in 1997, we've had one goal, to offer our customers the lowest prices guaranteed. Having reached over 7 million customers, we're celebrating by offering 10% off Amazon on over 900,000 books. Plus, get other great deals on the latest electronics, computers, digital cameras, DVDs, CDs, and more. Over 2 million products, all from America's top brands. So next time you buy, check us out. Buy.com.
In 3 days, the competition is on. Who will rise? Who will fall? Who will be crowned dance champion? Dancing with the Stars live season premiere, Thursday, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
So Auburn breaks the huddle. Joe Cope comes out with the football, number 50, the junior out of Andalusia, Alabama. 3rd down and goal. Play action, looking for the end zone, and he throws it incomplete. Cooper Wallace, the intended receiver. Stellmacher is the man who had to cover.
You have to kick the field goal here if you're Tommy Tuberville. Get points. You have some momentum. 12 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, but what great coverage on that little play action pass by Joe Stellmacher, the strong safety on the tight end run. They were all over that route.
John Vaughn to attempt the field goal, and the ball is going to be placed down at the 9-yard line, so a 19-yard attempt. Auburn trying to get on the board for the first time this afternoon. Ball is down, and he splits them. 11:54 left 3rd quarter. New score, 17-3, Wisconsin.
Finally, we're using my credit card miles. They couldn't black us out forever.
But, Dad, it's summer.
What are you, a weatherman?
All right, who's up for a little double diamond? Last one down's a coward. I'm okay.
They need a Capital One card.
For easy-to-use rewards, get Capital One no-hassle rewards with no blackouts on any airline anytime.
Kids, look at this!
What's in your wallet?
The new Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8. With the power to go from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. It's a force of nature. What does the future hold? Will you have the choices to make your world better? To live the life you dream of?
At Pacific Life, planning for a better tomorrow is what we're all about. That's why for over 135 years, Pacific Life has offered millions of people a world of financial solutions to help them live well now and plan well for the future. Ask your financial professional about Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Capital One Bowl. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. Taco Bell Big Bell Value Menu. To get full on value, think outside the bun. And Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life. The power to help you succeed.
Well, the 25th annual Citrus Day Parade took place on Saturday. Both the Auburn Marching Band and the Wisconsin Badgers Band performed in the parade. Some of the Wisconsin cheerleaders, 17-3 our score. Matt Clark prepares to kick it off. Zach Hampton, one of the deep men, and along with Brandon Williams, number 26 and number 1. And there's Brandon. He's looking into a pretty high sky right now. This one is kicked away and in and out the back of the end zone almost.
Ron, really surprised how many big plays Wisconsin has had in this football game. I think 4 over 20 yards. You see Brian Calhoun right there. A couple reasons you give up big plays when you're as talented as Auburn on defense. Missed tackling. And the second thing, missed assignments. And again, a month layoff getting ready for bowl games. You don't tackle a lot live because you don't want to get your guys hurt. And sometimes you don't have the focus coming into the game because of the long layoff. You blow assignments. So that's the 2 reasons.
See the difference in offensive production. 8.4 is what Wisconsin's averaging, 3.3 for Auburn. Stocco deep in the pocket this time, going to go long. They have blown a coverage, and wide open on the play is Brandon Williams. And if the ball had been thrown where it should have been thrown, he would still be running. It was badly underthrown, but a 43-yard gain.
Ron, you mentioned, we just talked about blown assignments. Right here, you're going to see Jonathan Orr in motion. And the little out and up route, and the corner stayed in the flat and did not get any depth. That was too easy. I think it surprised Stocco how far he had to throw that to a wide open receiver. It hurt his arm a little bit.
He may have done that day before yesterday at the luncheon. They had him throwing footballs inside a grand ballroom. They were having to throw line drives. Williams 4 catches for 118 yards, and they go right back to the ground. Brian Calhoun, that's been a devastating 1-2 punch. Calhoun, then Williams, and then Calhoun.
Ron, you always talk about focus going into a bowl game. I mean, Orlando, so many things to do here, so many off-the-field activities for players, but this is Auburn's 3rd time here in Orlando in 5 years. You would think they knew how to pace themselves, know how to stay focused, but this is not a focused Auburn team like we've seen late in the season.
2nd down. They need to take the ball to the 27.5-yard line. Stocco, throw back the other direction, and the tight end, Daniels, was open, and he overthrew him. And look at Daniels saying, why is my jersey over my shoulder pad?
I think Steve Gandy, you're right. Steve Gandy, the safety. Now Eric Brock, number 33, out of the game. They lock Steve Gandy up.
He's not going to move that. He's going to come all the way back to the huddle and look at the referee and say, look at my jersey. I didn't do this to me.
He's not going to discard that evidence now.
And all to no avail. Just going to leave it out. Okay. Owen Daniels, the tight end, senior out of Naperville, Illinois. Jonathan Orr was the man in motion, and that's who they get the football to. First down and about 10 yards more as Orr ran a crossing route in, irons. The quarterback, Stocco, had somebody holding on to his ankle, and that was McClover, and he still got it away.
Great pressure by McClover, and Jonathan Orr comes in motion, runs the crossing route. And how about Stocco? Talk about cool under pressure now. He's got McClover nipping at his ankles. And Jonathan Orr, a guy who struggled, Ron, consistently catching the football early in his career, hung on to that ball.
Well, the head coach said yesterday, Barry Alvarez said, Jonathan Orr has really got his confidence back. He's got 4 catches for 74 today. Here's a flag coming down, and on top of that insult to injury, Stocco is going to be sacked by Wayne Dickens, and I think we're going to have offensive holding on top of that.
Wayne Dickens that time on Jason Palermo, 52.
Holding, 52 on the offense. The penalty is declined. Second down.
And Wayne Dickens, Ron, about 6 foot, 310 pounds, just bull rushes Palermo. That's an excellent call right there. But you know, those low center of gravity defensive linemen get underneath your pads. It's tough on an offensive lineman.
Looks like the penalty because of the sack. It was declined. Second down and still about 17 yards. Calhoun fights his way inside the 25-yard line. Travis Williams, who has got 3 tackles this half, came over to make the tackle.
Tell you what, Travis Williams is a good football player. We mentioned David Gibbs, the coordinator from Auburn, from the NFL. He said this guy is a will linebacker in the NFL. Only about 210 pounds, Ron, but I'll tell you what, he plays with some fire from Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, and there's a good look at the defensive coordinator. And when you say a weak side linebacker is what he's talking about, or he could play safety. Is he fast enough? I guess that might be checked out. Stocco over the middle. The ball is batted down. And in fact, it was batted into the air. And the closest man to it was the fellow we were talking about, Travis Williams. I believe T.J. Jackson got a hand up. T.J., one of a number of players who is from Opelika. Tez Doolittle, who plays behind him, is from Opelika. Will Herring, the free safety, number 35, is also from Opelika. And here comes a field goal attempt of 41 yards by Melhoff. The ball will be placed down on the left hash mark. He's 4 or 5 from this distance, and plenty of distance, but wide to the right. Well, all of a sudden, the Auburn fans have got something to cheer about here. David Irons had his hands up and might have distracted. I don't know.
And the Auburn defense continues to give up big plays, Ron, but they dodge a bullet. They're in this football game.
Three climate zones.
How's he doing back there?
3 rows of seats, so everyone can travel in comfort.
He's fine.
The all-new 7-passenger Jeep Commander. It's your world. Take command.
Merry Christmas, Grandma and Grandpa!
But it's August. I use my credit card miles. They blacked out the good weeks. While we're at it, happy Thanksgiving. Dibs on the drumstick, old man. Oh, and happy birthdays.
Yippee.
Put your Halloween costumes on while Mommy hides Easter eggs. Yeah, you're looking good. Gonna cook that?
For easy-to-use rewards, get Capital One no-hassle rewards with no blackouts on any airline anytime.
Dad, I'm hot.
Yeah, we're all hot.
Genius needs a Capital One card.
What's in your wallet?
Watching the Capital One Bowl on ABC Sports.
Wisconsin Wisconsin leads Auburn 17-3 in the third quarter. Joining me now, Matt Schuyler from Capital One. And Matt, everywhere I look, Capital One's advertising in sports. Why is that important to your company?
Well, Holly, we're really proud to be a sponsor of many different intercollegiate activities like college football. For us, it's really just a matter of shared values with intercollegiate athletics in general. Values such as a commitment to excellence and doing the right things for our communities. And we find college football is a great venue to showcase those values.
Well, you've showcased it this year with the Capital One Bowl Week. How's that benefited you?
Well, this is our 5th year sponsoring the Capital One Bowl and Bowl Week as well, and of course the National Mascot Challenge. For us, it's not so much what we get out of it as what we can give back to our communities, and we're very proud to be a partner with Florida Citrus Sports. They give back to their communities more broadly, and we're pleased to do that as well.
All right, thanks very much. Matt Schuyler from Capital One.
Okay, Holly, while you guys were visiting, pass was thrown complete to Anthony Mix, and he slipped as though maybe his cleats were not long enough, then tried to reverse it, and a lot of running, he picked up a yard.
About 250 pounds right there.
He's
Anthony Mix.
Big receiver, I'm telling you.
And a 10-600 meters. Stocco, I wonder if, Ron, you see that shoulder on that deep throw.
And you know what? I'm not joking. I'll relate to you what the head coach said. We were sitting together at that luncheon day before yesterday. Goes back to Irons, close to the first down, and in fact, on second effort, he might have made it. Stellmacher is up on the secondary to make the tackle. Barry hollered at his quarterback, and he said they were throwing those passes to people who won them, and they were slick autographed balls, and Barry kind of spoke out loud enough and said to Stocco, "Don't do that too much and hurt your arms."
That's one thing as a head coach that's been in it a long time. You think of whatever the downside is. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. He didn't want to lose Stocco at the luncheon.
No.
Trying to throw the deep ball.
He's going to lose him. He wanted to lose him out here today on the field of play. They don't have it. They're going to miss that just by inches. You know, the one consolation, though, for them, it's kind of like Auburn. They got a guy by the name of Brian Calhoun, while Auburn has got Kenny Irons and Brad Lester. You can get it done just running the football with just a toss every once in a while. Third down and just inches to pick this one up. 17-3, Wisconsin leads, third quarter. And the quarterback sneak. Brandon Cox, and the flag now comes in.
On so many times on short yardage, you get up there and change that play, trying to get the perfect play, and you don't get set. But I believe that is offsides on Wisconsin.
Offside. Defense, number 91. It's a 5-yard penalty. The result of the penalty is a first down.
Chapman is the man who was flagged.
Yeah. That right W looked like it was on the other side of the tip of that football right there.
Wisconsin now 4 penalties for 30 yards.
Keep giving that ball to Kenny Irons, number 23 right now. If you're Al Borges in this Auburn offense, Ron, I know you want to play action, but give him the ball.
Irons is 74 yards on 14 carries, an average of 5.1 per try. And that pass, defensive holding, 2 flags, now 3. Do we hear 4?
No question, Ron. They ran the slant to Preche Rodriguez, the junior college transfer. Levon Rowan grabbing the jersey.
Preche Rodriguez from Tampa by way of Coffeyville Community College. With a lot of stoppages in play in the second half.
More time for that Wisconsin team to be out in this hot sun. But you look right here, Levon Rowan, who's had an excellent game, got turned a little bit. Boy, I tell you, I saw it from the booth a little more clear than we saw in that replay. Didn't look like pass interference on that replay.
Much as anything, I thought they were going to call defensive holding.
Yeah, I saw him grab the jersey now.
So it's a first down. The new line of scrimmage is the 46. Cooper Wallace and Cole Bennett the two tight ends in the lineup right now. Irons bounces it to the outside, still juking and jumping, and he'll finally be tackled just inside the 40 by Lamar Watkins. And Thomas, who was in on defense, is holding his right knee. The All-Conference All-American left tackle for the Badgers, and Barry Alvarez is going to come out on the field to take a look personally.
And Ron, I know the concern Barry Alvarez has for Joe Thomas. A lot of people thinking maybe this is his last football game. He does have another year of eligibility, but he already has a first-round grade for next year's NFL draft. Brett Bielema, who will be the new head coach, and we're going to get a look at it. It didn't look like, Ron, the contact caused the injury. We see Joe Thomas come in, fell on it awkwardly. You really hope he's okay. Keep in mind, Barry Alvarez went through this with Lee Evans several years ago, a potential first-round draft choice, hurt in the spring game with a knee injury. Hopefully it's not that severe.
They are so thin, the defensive line. That's the reason they're using an offensive lineman. And Barry Alvarez is going to want to kill himself if he got his All-American hurt. Flea flicker. Got a man out there, but also a defensive back. Tipped it to himself, and guess who had the cover? Levon Rowan. He has been all over this football field this afternoon, and Aroma Shadu could do nothing about it. Ron Franklin, Bob Davey, and Holly Rowe coming to you from the 2006 Capital One Bowl game in Orlando, Florida. And our score is 17-3 with just about halfway through this third quarter. Good look at Rowan, senior out of Erie, Pennsylvania. And he's got to be proud of himself, the way he has played in this contest. Mix in motion. That's who they go to right over the middle. Could not hold on to the football. But I'll tell you what, if Zalewski had turned around, he had a pick right there beside him.
The big target, Anthony Mix, is down injured, Ron. But he did have an opportunity right there on a huge third down and 4.5 to make a play. Brandon Cox stays in the pocket.
Oh, man, that ball should have been caught.
He should have caught that football without any doubt. Anthony Mix, a senior. Tight end body playing wide receiver for Auburn. And right now, Tommy Tuberville, big decision right here on 4th down and about 4.5, Ron.
What do? Do you boot it, or do you run the play?
Boy, I'd punt the football right now. Just because you have so much momentum, your defense is playing better. Stocko's shoulders bothering him a little bit. The fans are going to boo, but punt it, play field position. You're going to get the ball right back if you play good defense.
Well, Cody Bliss has dropped off in a punt formation position. 4 punts, 48.5 yards is what he's averaged. Williams is the deep man. Now keep this in mind. Williams is looking into a very high sky, and it is a pooch kick. He signals for the fair catch, and he used the light standard. He got really fortunate. The ball came down in the only shadow on the field, which was from the light standards. So it is Wisconsin football. Coming up next, the BCS kicks off with the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Two of the most storied programs in college football meet when Ohio State takes on Notre Dame. And tonight at 8:30, Georgia battles West Virginia in the Nokia Sugar Bowl.
Talk about Wisconsin, Ron. I think probably an advantage that they came down earlier than Auburn. They got here 2 or 3 days before Auburn to get acclimated to this heat. They've actually been down here since Christmas Day, but it is a hot afternoon here.
Stocko 12 of 21 for 231 yards. Big opening, and Calhoun came very close to breaking loose. He takes it all the way out to the 18-yard line. Going to be a gain of 7, maybe 7.5.
And Ron, I want you to watch your weatherman, Owen Daniels. You're going to see him late come into the screen as we roll it right here. Right there comes Owen Daniels, the weatherman. Boom! That's a great block on Herring.
Point of attack, he locked up with him, didn't he?
He's going to be a hero when he takes that job at the Weather Channel. They're going to remember all these plays he made.
Second down and short. Running play to Calhoun. And he is very close. In fact, I think he has the first down. And as you hear it said so many times, this is the formula that you're looking for. Short yardage on second down, not short yardage on first down. Well, the comparison between the two tailbacks today. Calhoun, 142 yards and 17 carries. And for Irons, 80 yards on 15 attempts.
Big plays. Kenny Irons hasn't had that breakout play. Excuse me, Ron.
Vanden Heuvel is the man who has come in replacing Joe Thomas at the left tackle spot, number 71, 6'7", 340 pounds. He's a freshman. Going to go long, far side of the field. That has to be offensive pass interference. Now, the Wisconsin crowd didn't like it, but I mean, number one, Brandon Williams just grabbed the defensive back and yanked him past him.
And it all depends what color your jersey you're wearing.
That's right.
But I agree. I mean, Brandon Williams yanked David Irons, the corner, to the ground on that. Ron, let's see if our eyes didn't deceive us. Watch right here. No
he got
doubt.
the back of the jersey.
He yanked him. And now the Wisconsin sidelines wants the flag. Should have been offensive pass interference right there on Brandon Williams.
And then Stocco.
Yeah.
Back there saying, what are you doing to me? Well, they got away with one there. Second down. Stocco straight ahead with the running play and not much for Brian Calhoun. Holly Rowe, let's check with you down on the sideline. What do you got to add to this?
Well, guys, right now, Joe Thomas was just examined after a lengthy examination on that knee, and the trainer told me that he is done for today. And judging by the reaction of his defensive line coach, Coach Palermo came over. They whispered in his ear what the injury was, and he let out an expletive. So they won't tell me exactly what the injury is, but I know he's done for today, and it may be more serious than that.
Well, what a tough thing. A guy who has already been given a letter saying that he will be a first-round draft choice. He's only a junior. As that ball is thrown incomplete on the third down play with Will Herring coming from his safety position. And now this big man, will he get the opportunity, even if he decides to come out early? A knee injury, playing of all things defense today because his team needed him.
And I know exactly what Barry Alvarez is thinking. You ask this kid who is a first-round offensive lineman to come over and play defense, which he's done before. He did it as a young freshman, and you experiment, and the kid gets hurt, and you feel worse than anyone in the stadium if you're Barry Alvarez.
And because Joe had said, I'm enjoying this. I like the challenge. Robert Dunn, the deep man. DeBush with the kick. Not his best of the day. Wobbly spiral, line drive from the 34. 40 and out to the 44. So we'll take a timeout. 5:03 left, third quarter. Wisconsin 17 and Auburn 3.
Them games have been something special. The laughs, the tears, the contusions, the comas. But now it's time to announce the winner. We wish we could hand out a silver and a bronze, but our medical bills have left us only enough for a gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everything else, your 2005 Capital One mascot of the year,
Kirby Husker, University of Nebraska.
What's in your wallet?
Climb aboard and enjoy luxurious heated seating, premium audio, and an onboard satellite navigation system. The 2006 Honda Goldwing. Now, with 4 new luxury option packages. Why fly over great scenery when you can fly through it?
Dad, you know how you like to be everywhere I am? Now you can be.
With Family Talk from Singular. Add a line for just $9.99. Plus get a cool Nokia video camera phone for only $29.99. Singular, raising the bar.
Jane Curtin, William Devane, and Fred Savage in a new comedy.
Tobey Maguire wants to star in my next movie.
Inspired by a true story.
I just nailed a chick in the freezer. I win.
Cross, Thursday, January 12th at 9:30, 8:30 Central, only on ABC.
17-3, Wisconsin leads it. Just over 5 minutes to play third quarter. And as we told you off the top of the telecast, still got a lot of playing time left, but only 2 teams in America the last 2 years have a better winning percentage than Auburn, and it's Southern California and Texas. Running play with the irons, and he will fight his way for 5 tough yards off left tackle.
Ron, one thing, if you're the home team, you're usually on the press box side of the stadium, and that means you're in the shade. As we look at Auburn's football team in the shade, by contrast, over on that Wisconsin sideline, because you're the visitor, you are flat looking into that sun. I think it's an advantage for Auburn here late in this game as you see the shadows on that field.
Yep. In fact, in the early reports, we saw Holly was donning sunglasses because it was so bright down there. Irons tries to break off the tackle, and he just will not get away. Covered in white defensive jerseys, Dantes Sanders, one of the first men to get there and make contact. Also, Stellmacher.
You have to be impressed with this Wisconsin defense, though, don't you, Ron, the way they played throughout the afternoon? Because they're not, came in 100 ranked out of 117 in total defense. They are a scrappy bunch.
And they're playing for a real big purpose today. That guy right there, Brett Bielema, is the head coach starting in 2006. But Barry Alvarez, it's his last rodeo on the sidelines, folks. Will no longer be the head coach. He'll be the AD. End around, and that's Obamano. Almost broke it big, and that's the play that they're looking for, just anything to get either he or Aruma Shadu out in open field. Make them run in space.
And I'll tell you, Auburn needed that third down conversion off the zone fake. Hand the ball to Obamano, and the big offensive guard, I believe, Grubbs, had a pretty good block right there. But Ron, how about the call on third down and about 5 right there on the reverse?
Took a little time. 3 of 10 is what Auburn is now on third down conversions. Fake the draw, going to go long, and he's got a man there. Courtney Taylor, incomplete. Levon Rowan came back to break the pass up. And if the pass had been thrown with enough speed, you got a touchdown.
And Ron, the other thing, he underthrew that ball, as you said, but Brandon Cox holds onto the football a little long. And right here, you see right there, Courtney Taylor is open, clearly has Levon Rowan beat. Underthrown, as you said, also late thrown. Brandon Cox has struggled today since the first interception on the first series of this game.
9 of 22. Cox in the second half, 2 of 7 for 5 yards. Lester in the ball game. New set of legs, and he will take it down the sideline and is pushed out at the 35. Zalewski is the man that was out there to make the tackle. Now, if Auburn is able to push this thing in and score the touchdown, then truly we have ourselves a new ball game. And particularly with John Stocco, the Wisconsin quarterback, running around on the sideline trying to get that shoulder loose. Something is obviously bothering him.
And staying one play ahead, run it twice. You're going to go for it on fourth down if you're Tommy Tuberville. Run it on 3rd and 2. If you don't make it, run it on 4th down.
Lester now 6 carries, 31 yards. He'll get it again. Penetration hit behind the line of scrimmage. Now a flag is down. The tackle made at the 40. Zalewski is the man who came through and made contact first.
Ron, Wisconsin lined up offsides on the last 3rd down and short. They line up offsides again. I think it's Kurt Ware in a defensive end replacing Joe Thomas.
Defense number 34. It's a 5-yard penalty. The distance results in a first down.
Boy, but Zalewski, how about on the linebacker plug stunt, makes the fullback whiff. That was huge, Ron, lining up offsides.
Well, Ware not only lined up offsides, when he got there, he grabbed an air. He did a little air tackle.
I think Lester has the capabilities to make you miss a little bit.
Yeah,
like
well, you're right. I'll give him benefit of the doubt. First down from the 30, play action into the flat and got that one complete. Aroma Shadu. Now, on this series, Obamano, Aroma Shadu, and Lester, those are your weapons. Keep going to them.
And again, 1st and 10, run the play action. Excellent route about Aroma Shadu. And Brandon Cox, maybe the best ball he's thrown, Ron. No pressure, good timing route, delivered the football.
They're going to have to call a timeout to bring the chain from all the way across the way. First down. Two minutes, 41 seconds showing on the clock. That's what we have left in the third quarter. Third quarter that has been a very long quarter. Cox now with an audible. 5 seconds on the play clock. Down to 3, down to 2, got it away in plenty of time. And a straight ahead handoff with Lester's not going to do very much. Tackled by Casillas. You know, Casillas is a kid they think is going to be just totally outstanding. Freshman out of New Brunswick, New Jersey, has played some safety. And when they ask him, being a freshman, what is the most exciting and fun thing that you had to do down here in Orlando? He said, oh, the scrimmage. And they said, no, fun thing. And he said, yeah, the scrimmage. The kid loves to play the game, and he loves to hit. Cox, near sideline, and that ball hit the receiver, Brad Lester, in the head. He did not turn around, and the ball lazily came down. Watch it. It was almost hit him on the strike.
And the other thing, Ron, Roderick Rogers, the safety, doesn't look for the ball. Watch Roderick. He plays the man instead of the ball. I really think Rogers could have intercepted that ball, Ron.
Might have. And the closer we look right there, it seemed as though it hit his hand rather than his helmet. It is third down. They need the 9.5-yard line. Kenny Irons has come back into the lineup.
Seems like Anthony Mix has been the guy, doesn't it, in these third down situations?
Let's see right here. They had the bunch set to the right. They throw it over the middle, and Courtney Taylor fought it instead of caught it. Wow.
Wow.
That's the only way you can put it. He fought it and didn't catch it. Whoa. Watch this.
And Courtney Taylor, their #1 receiver coming into this season, Ron, he's wide open, and you just have to make that play. And it looks like it sets up a 4th and 10 that Tommy Tuberville may go for it here.
Courtney Taylor saved the Georgia game. Make no mistake about it. On the long play on 4th down, he recovered a ball that was about to go out of the back of the end zone. 4th down. They need the 9.5. Cox rolls it to his right, has a man, and it is caught. That's Obamano, and it's enough for the first down.
Ron, that was a great play by Ben Obamano, the senior receiver, and he was looking back into the sun, fighting the sun, and also fighting the ball was thrown behind him. Watch at the top, Obamano, deep comeback route, the ball thrown inside. He just wrestled that football away.
And you know what? That was Obamano against Ikaguano. Now say that 10 times back to back very quickly.
I'm glad you bailed me out because I wasn't going to do that matchup.
Obamano, 3 catches, 41 yards. Running play. Nothing inside. Tried to change his footing, and he lost it. And Kurt Ware, no, beg your pardon, Kenny Irons couldn't get traction. Kurt Ware on the tackle.
And Ron, how about Obamanu on the reverse on 3rd down and 5 converts, and on the huge 4th down and 10, the senior wide receiver Obamanu. This guy graduated in 3 years in finance, and he's had a great year, partly because of the injury to Courtney Taylor. Yeah. He's had a breakout season as a senior.
Yeah, and then Courtney had a tough time getting that job back. It's Obamanu in motion. Draw play. Irons hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he is going to lose a couple. Jonathan Casillas again on the stop.
He likes it, doesn't he?
Well, let's take a look at our Chrysler passing playbook.
Not exactly how you draw it up, Ron, but anytime it's 4th and 10 and you can convert, we got to call it the Chrysler passing playbook play of the day. Ben Obamanu, the ball thrown inside, and he beats the freshman corner. And I'm going to let you say the name of the freshman corner.
Ikaguano.
Ikaguano. Chrysler passing play of the game on 4th and 10. Can Auburn take advantage of it, though?
I think they're going to have to call a timeout, aren't they? Oh, it's the end of the 3rd quarter. So we see double zeros, and we head to the final 15 minutes. ABC Sports presentation of the Capital One Bowl will continue after this message and a word from our ABC station. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
The scorching hot Chrysler 300.
Now qualified lessees can lease a Chrysler 300 base model for just $299 a month.
Hypothetically, your father and I are both hanging off a cliff. Who do you save first?
The Crumbs are a normal American family.
You've got a gun with one bullet, and you have to kill one of us.
Turned upside down.
I'd shoot Dad. You're a good son.
Crumbs. Series premiere Thursday, January 12th, only on ABC.
Have you heard the news about a great place to play? Everybody's talking about it. Tri-State. Come for the fun.
Now more than ever, Tri-State Racetrack and Gaming Center is your place to play. Let the good times roll in our new Mardi Gras edition. Hot new slots, great restaurants, live music, and our state-of-the-art simulcast area, where you can wager on races across the country every day. Come play at Tri-State Racetrack and Gaming Center today.
So come for the fun. Tri-State.
Racetrack and Gaming Center, West Virginia, wild and wonderful.
And now Rick with the weather.
It's another great day, except in my local area. We're going to get a downpour, so I'm likely to have no TV reception thanks to another interrupted satellite signal. I must have been hit in the head by a meteorite signing up for satellite.
Rick, Charter has no weather interruptions, and you can get Charter digital or high-speed internet starting as low as $29.99 a month.
Call 1-888-GET-CHARTER today.
The Glory of Joe, weekdays at 4 p.m. only on WCHS-TV.
Well, you see the scoring by quarters. Wisconsin 10 and 7-0 in the second half. 3 and nothing else in the other quarters for the Auburn Tigers, but they're threatening. It is a 3rd down. The last quarter as the head coach in Wisconsin for Barry Alvarez. What must be going through his mind? Look in pass, thrown low, almost picked off by cornerback Ikawaku.
Quarterback struggling, Ron. Still a young quarterback, Brandon Cox. And we saw him against Georgia Tech in the first game. It started out poor. He struggled the whole game. Kind of similar to that game, he has really labored all afternoon. A little surprised right here Tommy Tuberville would go for it after that last throw he just saw Brandon Cox make.
So here's the situation. 4th down. 4th and goal. That's Kenny Irons in motion, way out to the bottom of your screen. Protection breaks down. Pass is caught after a push-off, and we do not have a flag. Now, if somebody calls a timeout for... Wait a minute. You can't change that. No one has interference. That's right. It is not a call that can be contested.
And, Ron, they will not call offensive pass interference. They didn't do it earlier. Landon Williams for Wisconsin. They don't do it now, and at least they're consistent. The watch right here, Courtney
Taylor. He just
Taylor,
shoves him away.
We may get a better look, but right there, Courtney Taylor, no question, Ron. He pushes Jake Aikawanu, the freshman corner.
Way to go.
You can't review a call like that, from what I understand. That is an official's judgment call.
Yeah.
And that cannot be reviewed.
No, they're coming over. Every play is actually reviewed.
I know, Ron, but
let's see, what are they reviewing here?
Exactly. They may be a possession. Did he have his foot in bounds? They cannot overturn whether or not it was offensive pass interference or not. That is not the issue. Only possession, in this case, can be reviewed and overturned.
After review, the play stands is called on the field. Touchdown.
Right there, clearly in bounds.
Yeah.
And Ron, I'll say this. At least they're consistent. They didn't call offensive pass interference against Wisconsin. They don't call it against Auburn. And we've got ourselves a big-time finish to this game now.
14:49 left to play. And the extra point attempt about to come up here from John Vaughn. If he hits it, got a 7-point game at 17-10. Auburn 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions today. Let's go to break. 7 points, 17-10. Wisconsin's lead has been cut.
Trucks are made for pulling. That's why the 5.4-liter V8 in the Ford F-150 uses an innovative 3-valve design. 3 valves allow the engine to breathe better, crank out more power, and pull more than you ever thought possible.
There are 2 kinds of people, 2 kinds of companies who change the world. Those who invent and those who deliver. And while the world benefits greatly from both, they rarely join together. Until now. SBC, America's largest provider of DSL broadband, and AT&T have joined forces to create the most complete and secure network on Earth, so you can make the most of your world. Introducing the new AT&T. Your world. Delivered.
Create your own holiday feast at Red Lobster. Combine 2 or 3 of your seafood favorites from 10 signature dishes, including our tender snow crab. Turn a meal into a celebration this holiday at Red Lobster.
I just want to properly thank you for dinner.
I'm sorry I was such a jerk.
Why are you using the past tense?
Isn't this nice?
Yeah, it is actually.
Good night.
Emily's Reasons Why Not premieres next Monday at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
So we are back. Sun beginning to creep behind the edge of the stadium, but it's still warm in that Wisconsin sideline. Very cool on the Auburn side of the field. 17-10, 14:49 left to go in the ball game.
How about Courtney Taylor, Ron? Coming off the drop pass, makes the big catch, and the Auburn wide receivers, a big, huge part of that scoring drive.
Well, he just kicked this thing. Did it go over the pylon or no, went out of bounds. There's the flag. So they'll scrimmage for their own 35. Matt Clark. And here's the BCS standings brought to you by Allstate.
think if Auburn can come back and win this football game, probably a top 5 team entering next season. And I think that's important, even as you get into the home stretch of the season. How you start affects how you finish. And right now, this Auburn team looks like a different, energized football team from what we saw in the first half, Ron.
Well, the really interesting thing about both of these teams is they have a lot of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors returning next year. Calhoun at tailback. Pressure, Stocco delivers it, has it complete. The receiver really had gotten open. That was Brandon Williams. David Irons made the tackle on him, but that's one of the few times that David was not all over the guy.
And give Stocco credit for staying in that pocket, Ron. I mean, this took a long time to develop. He steps up, hits Brandon Williams on the crossing route. And I'm amazed at how wide open these Wisconsin receivers have been today in this football game.
5 catches, 137 yards for Brandon Williams. The numbers on Stocco, 13 of 24, 2 touchdowns, 250 yards. Slow developing, and it's not going to go very far. Calhoun, they say that the ball came loose, but the official says no. He was down, and it's a gain of about a half yard. Ron Franklin, along with Bob Davie and Holly Rowe, coming to you from the 2006 Capital One Bowl game in Orlando, Florida. SEC against the Big Ten, and for the first half, it was all Big Ten, all Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez coaching his final game. He will stay on, of course, at Wisconsin as the athletic director.
It went so well in the first half, Barry might have reconsidered not leaving.
I doubt that. Williams in motion. Williams winds up with the football, and David Irons will make the tackle.
If you look at Stocco, Ron, this is his 25th start. He's played a lot of football at Wisconsin, but he's had to gain the respect of the players and the fans, and he's done it this year. Kind of quietly broke the school record for passing yards, and I've been impressed, but I've been more impressed with how wide open Wisconsin's receivers have been, and the game planning of Paul Chryst and how he's called plays in this game.
3rd down, and they need about a yard and a half for the first. Daniels, the tight end, in motion. Flood of blockers in front, turns the corner, has the first down. So Brian Calhoun does run out of bounds, which stops the clock at 13:30. But most importantly for Wisconsin, he moved the chains and another first down.
When you look at Barry, this Wisconsin offense, Ron, is better than I thought they would be. It's the first time we've done them. They broke school records for points per game, averaged 35 a game, had 40 points 6 times, but I didn't think they played very many good defenses. They struggled against Penn State, Iowa, and North Carolina. But I'll tell you what, they have played better than I thought they could play against this Auburn defense.
Calhoun now 21 carries, 153 yards. Breaks it, 5, has 10, he is off. 10, 5, touchdown. And again, Eric Brock had a shot at him and got turned completely around.
And again, Jason Posiak gets the block. But Ron, when's the last time you've seen a tailback take it to the house untouched against an Auburn defense? You got to be kidding me, Eric Brock. But I mean, Ron, that's a top 10 defensive team. And Eric Brock continues to struggle in this football game.
Just not even a good effort. Kick is up, and he's good. And with 13:22 left in our ball game, new score, Wisconsin 24 and Auburn 10. As you watch Brian Calhoun, who is now at 186 yards, score the touch.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles.
Yeah, no.
All you ever say is no.
And yet you keep calling.
That's it. I'm coming to find you. I am tired of no.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my bright yellow shirt.
You're going down. Ah!
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
I should work at Capital One. What's in your wallet? Oh,
There's an accident in this country every 5 seconds. Allstate thinks that's too often. So they have new rewards to encourage you to drive safely. Now, for each year you go without having one of these, you'll get $100 off your deductible. Introducing Deductible Rewards. It's time to make the world a better place to drive. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Fullness from a value menu.
No one's going anywhere until you tell me who's full. Me too.
New to the Big Bell value menu. The half-pound cheesy bean and rice burrito. Loaded with 3 cheeses, fiesta sauce, and a cheesy, zesty kick. Designed to keep your stomach and your wallet full.
Number 3. If I'm a new cheesy bean and rice burrito, you are?
Full. To get full-on value, think outside the bun.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Capital One Bowl. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. AT&T. Introducing the new AT&T. Your world delivered. And Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Well, there you see the new score, 24-10. And what Brian Calhoun has done today is not only set the pace in the first half, but here in the second half, he just has blown this thing open. 5 plays, 65 yards, 33-yard touchdown run. Calhoun, let's see, rushing 186, receiving 8 for a 196 total. Williams receiving 137 today. This kick is going to go 3 yards deep. These two gentlemen, between receiving and rushing, 351 total yards between the two.
And the first thing, Ron, Posiak, a tight end, lines up at fullback. He's going to get an excellent block on the linebacker. That's a tight end, Posiak, a 50-year senior. He gets an excellent block right there. Now, the second thing, cardinal rule in football, if you're a safety, force the ball carrier to the sideline. You have help outside you. You had to corner outside. You gave him the cutback, and it was to the house.
Ball is thrown complete to Obamano. That's going to be a gain of close to 6 yards in the play. Lamont Rowan makes the tackle.
Ron, how about Brian Calhoun leaves Colorado mainly because they wanted to make him a wide receiver. Second, Eric Bieniemy, the running back coach, and left and went to UCLA. But again, very few transfers turn out in the end. These two guys, Kenny Irons and Brian Calhoun now, those are role model transfer guys.
No question about that. This running play, tough going for Kenny Irons, pumping those legs hard. That'll be short of the first down, though, having down at the 27. Dontez Sanders made the tackle. Now it's going to be a third down and about 3, I think, for the Auburn Tigers.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Tommy, you talk about ebbs and flows, ups and downs in a game. Just a moment ago, Ron, it's a 17-10 game, all the momentum on Auburn, and then bang, Wisconsin scores in a heartbeat.
It really has shifted quickly. Third down, they need the 30. Pitch it back to Irons, and Irons will have the first down on the second effort. And let's check in quickly with John Saunders. John?
Well, Ron, we're waiting for the Built Ford Tough pregame and the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Charlie Weiss has 4 Super Bowl rings, and the last time the Ohio State Buckeyes played here, they won a national championship. Ron, back to you.
Okay, John. I know a lot of people in great anticipation of seeing that ball game right there.
Could be a lot of points in that game.
Yeah.
But how about that run by Kenny Irons right there on third down? Lowering those pads. Little Adrian Peterson now, style of play.
Yeah, he loves second effort. Ball is in, complete. Caught at the 46-yard line. Let's see where they're giving forward progress. That's it. Obamano really got tagged. Roderick Rogers is the man who made the hit.
I'll tell you what, it may be Barry Alvarez's last game, but it's been Obamano's last game as well, Ron, and he has stepped up in this football game. Just runs a little slant route, in route right here. I'll tell you, these Auburn receivers have stepped up to get Auburn back in this football game, led by Obamano.
5 catches for him, 62 yards. Going to come to the bench, get a breather. You can see averaging over 12 yards per reception. Irons back into the boundary. Not much, if anything, may have lost a half a yard. Ostrowski made the tackle. You have to wonder. They have been a very left-handed team because of McNeil and Grubbs over on that left side. And it hasn't been as easy today, has it?
Exactly right. You see Joe Cope locked up. Joe Cope looks kind of out of place there. The center at about 6 foot. The rest of those Auburn offensive linemen about 6'5", 6'6". Tenacious guy, though.
Trey Smith in the ball game, number 22. So they fake the end around and they throw it to Irons. Got a blocker in front, and Irons may have gotten himself in trouble. If he had been patient and waited, he might have had the convoy down the sideline. As it is, it was good for big yardage.
Well-designed play. First they fake the reverse, get all of Wisconsin's attention to the opposite side. And you mentioned convoy, Ron. Look out here right now. I mean, the white shirts are outnumbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1. And you're right. Kenny Irons, no patience right there, or he could have hit behind that line and broken it to the sidelines.
That, Bob, was the longest play of the day for the Auburn offense at 21 yards.
Crowd to the snap. False start. 72 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Holly Rowe, let's bring you in.
Well, guys, we talked about it earlier. Kenny Irons got just 1 carry in the first game of the year against Georgia Tech, but he found a way into the lineup by becoming a more physical blocker and a more physical player. He said his coach kept telling him, look, when you're out there, you can be the hammer or you can be the nail. And he's decided it feels much better to be the hammer, guys. He's putting the hammer down on some of these big runs today.
Okay, Holly. You'll have to tell us by game's end who is the nail. Cox gets a good block, does not feel the pressure from behind, and is sacked by Newkirk. Mike, a freshman out of Ladysmith, Wisconsin.
Ron, first of all, miscommunication by Auburn. That's supposed to be a play-action pass. I think they wanted to get the fullback or the tight end out. This play takes way, way too long. And Leon Hart, who is in the game at offensive tackle, normally plays guard because Troy Reddick has been ejected from the game in the first half. Newkirk, the freshman, gets the sack. The timing was off on that play, though, from the beginning.
About to go under 9 minutes to play. Quick pass over the middle, ball tipped and dangerously close to a defender from Wisconsin after Arumashadu could not tip it back toward himself.
And Auburn has labored all afternoon, Ron. They may come back and win this football game, but it has been a struggle. They have not been consistent at all.
Well, they may have waited too long here because now the shade is hitting the Wisconsin side of the field. They get a bit of a reprieve. Isn't that amazing? Happened about 20 minutes earlier over on this side.
You see that third down conversion lead the SEC. I don't think on 3rd down and 24, that's a leading SEC stat, Ron.
Here comes a blitz. Lester in the ball game. The ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls harmlessly at the 39-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, these 2 big tackles from Wisconsin, Nick Hayden, number 96, and Ostrowski, 99, good push. Hayden actually showed a little vertical right there, Ron, and tipped that football. That's a big old defensive lineman, though, Hayden, about 310 pounds in there.
How much was the vertical, Bob?
Not much.
Hey, when you're that big, you're not supposed to have one when you're over 300.
But Auburn just not in sync, Ron, all afternoon, but still in this football game.
You know, they're going to let the clock run all the way down.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Sometimes that's by design. You let that clock run down, but not with that face.
It was designed by Cody Bliss, but not by Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah.
Whoa, he was a little angry. 9:06 to play. 24 Wisconsin, 10 Auburn. Here's the boot. This is a driving spiral. Calls for the fair catch, trying to slow down the Gunners. And do they touch it in time? Yes, at the 1-yard line.
And you see why Cody wanted that delay of game call on. Cody Bliss knew exactly how much yardage he wanted to work with.
Anthony Mix got the touch. Score away. 8 minutes and 58 seconds left in our ball game. Wisconsin by 14.
Because a car shouldn't just use energy. It should create it. Introducing the mid-size Ford Fusion. More innovation from Ford. For a life in drive.
Me? I'm a problem solver. There's a problem, I solve it. One problem I thought I'd solved? My acid reflux disease. I thought it was just bad heartburn. But when I went back to my doctor, he told me over time stomach acid had damaged the lining of my esophagus. He prescribed Nexium. Said I needed more than heartburn relief. My esophagus needed repair. Nexium healed the erosions in my esophagus. And one prescription Nexium pill a day keeps me healed and relieves my heartburn. So I don't just feel better, I am better. My doctor did say other serious stomach conditions may still exist, and headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain could be side effects of Nexium.
Talk to your doctor about Nexium and find out if a free trial is right for you.
Even the best problem solvers need a little help sometimes.
Nexium, the healing purple pill. If you can't afford your medications, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
ABC Sports coverage of the Capital One Bowl continues.
So we are back 24-10, and the play is under review. And when you see it, it should have been called on the field. The tip of the football is on the stripe.
Ron, you called it exactly right. You look close at this. The tip of that football is going to land right on that stripe, which means it broke the plane.
The play stands is called on the field. The ball was possessed at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal.
The only point there, that ball was possessed prior to the ball touching the ground. In other words, right here, Montavis Pitts, Anthony Mix is ruled as having possession. I'm not sure I agree with it.
I'm not sure that he had possession in the field of play. Anyway, we have been taking a long time on things that seem very minimal in this ball game. And now Barry is coming down the sideline saying, wait a minute. The ball should be at the 20-yard line.
And Ron, that may turn out to be a huge, huge play in this game.
Stocco over the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver.
And Ron, is football a game of inches? You go back to Cody Bliss, the Auburn punter. Much to the chagrin of Tommy Tuberville, lets the clock run down. They take a 5-yard delay game, and then he kicks it down to the 1-inch line. Now, granted, it may have not been the right call, but pretty good delay of game penalty looking back on it, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, it could have been. It depends on if Auburn can get something going. They might need those seconds. 15 may not sound like a lot, but it sure can be.
I love the field position it created, though.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. And the running play will come out around the 3. Brian Calhoun. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl coming up next, followed tonight by the Sugar Bowl. Georgia and West Virginia in that one, and of course it's Ohio State taking on Notre Dame in the first one.
I know Barry Alvarez has confidence in John Stocco. Does he turn him loose right here and run that football, or does he hand it to Calhoun with Posiak again as the lead blocker in the backfield?
Third down, they need to take it out to the 11-yard line. Pressure on the outside, got it away, and he gets it complete, and he's free. Williams takes it all the way out to the 40-yard line. Marquise Gunn is the one who knocked down the quarterback, John Stocco, but he had enough to get it away.
And we talk about a game of inches. I mean, Stocco, you have to love him standing in that pocket. Ron, I think everybody in the stadium, including us, thought it was going to be a safety, and Stocco hung in there and delivered that football. I mean, that is unbelievable. And then Brandon Williams with the big catch in front of Jonathan Wilhite. But how about Stocco? I mean, that is a great throw, and Antarius Williams, the linebacker, stuck him right in the chest.
Wow. So first down, 7.5 minutes left to play in the ball game, and a little end around here with Brandon Williams. Turns it upfield, has 5, 6, and 7. Counted off at 8 yards for him. Holly Rowe, let's check in with you.
Well, guys, that toughness from John Stocco shouldn't surprise anybody. He grew up as one of 4 brothers, and his brothers told me last year at a Wisconsin game that they used to knock him around pretty good. In fact, one time they broke one of his bones wrestling when he hit it on the couch leg. So this is a young man who has grown up taking the heartbeats from his older brothers. And, guys, it's continuing right now.
Played with Larry Fitzgerald, the Arizona Cardinal receiver, former Pitt Panther in high school. Also a great baseball drafted out of high school.
Second down and 2. Calhoun waits for the blocking. Close to the first down, but I don't think he's going to have it. Bob, listen to this number. Williams now, 6 catches, 173. 3 runs for 26. That is 199 yards for him. You throw into the fray what Calhoun has done, and those 2 guys alone are going to wind up the day close to or over 400 yards. Well, that's some kind of output.
And that's something David Gibbs, Auburn's defensive coordinator, said to me. He was shocked at the skill level of the Wisconsin skill players at the key positions. And boy, that is held true this afternoon.
Wisconsin by 14. Now just trying to run the clock. He hurdles him and is going to pick up an extra 3 yards. He being Brian Calhoun. David Irons was the man out there to make the tackle.
One thing I've noticed about Brian Calhoun, he's one of those guys, Ron, that doesn't take a big hit. See how he just finds a way to get skinny or turn his body, avoid collisions. And I think that's why he's been able to stay durable, probably go on and have a great career in the NFL. Kenny Irons on the other side, Adrian Peterson, Oklahoma, they take those big hits. But Brian Calhoun protects himself. I think that's a knack that some guys have and some guys don't, and he definitely has it.
Jamil Walker comes in at tailback, and he'll get it on the draw. Heads for the sideline, and did he go out of bounds? Well, if he did, it's a sophomore mistake as Irons made the tackle. Clock is continuing to run.
I'm telling you, Barry may change his mind, Ron, as we look at these statistics right here. I mean, it's been too easy for him. He's not going to walk away and be the AD after coaching in a game like this. As you see, Wisconsin has dominated total yardage.
So Walker was in for 1 play. That's movement against, oh my goodness, our man. He got the forecast wrong.
Start 11 for the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Owen Daniels, who has had such a fantastic game, came out of his stance a little too quickly. It'll cost his team 5 yards. Bob, let me ask you this. You remember when you were a head coach. Are there times you fuss less at a guy like that you know is just working his heart out, has had a big ball game, and nobody feels any worse? You don't have to fuss at him.
Oh, no question. And you're shocked that it happened. You know, so there's not much you can say. I mean, Owen Daniels realizes he just made a mistake.
Yeah. Don't call him to the sideline and tell him.
Yeah.
Brandon Williams in motion. Here comes pressure backside, and it's the middle screen, and there's the tight end, Owen Daniels, picking up the first down and about 7 yards more. Steve Gandy finally on the tackle.
Right on cue, Owen Daniels makes up for his mistake. Another great play call against an attacking defensive line. Ron, I'll tell you something. This is an impressive display by Auburn's offense. And if I'm Brett Bielema, get Paul Chryst back as your offensive coordinator, because he's put on a clinic today now, play calling and execution.
Total offense for Wisconsin, 519 yards. That's what they have so far. And as we have mentioned a couple of times, over the last 2 years, only 2 teams in America have a better winning percentage than the Auburn Tigers, and those 2 teams will play for the national championship on Wednesday evening. Yeah. The Southern California Trojans and the Texas Longhorns.
And the overrated chant has started from the sunburnt Badgers over there, Ron, in the sun right now.
Stocco, 15 of 27 for 301 yards. Okay, he got him to run some time off the clock. He could have turned on the microphone and done it easier. All right, now it's whistled back in. It will go from the ready, as the expression goes. Or actually the term, because that's what it is. Umpire moves off of it, and the referee signals wind it up. 3:45 and counting left in the ball game. Calhoun bounces it back to the right, gets by a tackler, 25-20, and loses his footing and goes down at the 16-yard line. Steady on his feet. Here's John Saunders.
Well, Ron, it was following the 2002 season that Ohio State won the national championship here at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. A huge game coming up against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame here on ABC. Ron, back to you.
Thanks so much, John. Boy, to hear and feel that atmosphere out there in Tempe, a special feeling with 2 very special football teams about to do battle. That one should be a really, really classic matchup, I think.
And Ron, if I'm Brett Bielema, the new head coach in Wisconsin, I get Brian Calhoun to come back for his senior year. He's thinking about coming out in the NFL draft. Get him back on this Wisconsin football team.
Well, you know, that play right there, I was about to say what was on that low-line super. Calhoun may have taken himself below 200. He would have been the first man since Fred Talley to do it. Talley, of course, from Arkansas.
What a difference one player like Brian Calhoun can make in an offense and a football team. He is a dynamic player. We look at Brett Bielema, 35 years old, Ron, will be the youngest head coach next year in NCAA Division I football.
Well, he has just been named. Calhoun has the MVP of the ball game. He's going to stay in bounds and run it down to the 11-yard line, tackled by Will Height. The biggest story in this one, though, Calhoun is the man who ignited them, and then Brandon Williams just kept stepping up, and between the 2 of them, they really gashed this very good defense of the Auburn Tigers.
And so similar. One's number 1, one's number 2. They're about the same size, but they both have big play capabilities. And an impressive display by Wisconsin, Ron.
Well, now we're going to put Williams back into the show. Inside the 5, and whoa, he gets whacked out of bounds hard.
That was a lick by David Irons on that sidelines. But how about Brett Bielema, the new head coach? He's found out early what it's like to be a head coach. He's named in August. Brett Bielema kind of becomes a target People questioning he had an Iowa Hawkeye tattoo on his calf. He went to Iowa. None of that matters. This guy's a heck of a coach. I think he'll have a great career, particularly because Barry Alvarez is going to be there as the AD, helping him through all those politically sensitive issues you get in.
Do you score here or do you take a knee? You got first down. Auburn does have 3 timeouts left. They're going to run it. He will just go down, maybe lost a yard. And here's my next question I pose to you. It is his last time around, his last rodeo. Do you throw Gatorade on this guy or do you let him stay dry? Stay tuned for the Built Ford Tough pregame show that's coming up. Immediately following our ball game, and we've got 1:12 to play. Williams now 200 yards in total offense. 173 and 27 rushing.
And Barry Alvarez told me, Ron, after the game, he's going down to Naples. He has a condo down there.
That's Florida.
He's going to be as relaxed as he's ever been, I promise you, after this one.
Well, Brian Calhoun skips his way down to about the 1-foot line.
Pretty good jump start if you're Brett Bielema. And what a way to go out if you're Barry Alvarez. He lost his last home game in Camp Randall to Iowa. He had to move it a little bit, get down to Orlando, but he wins his last regular season football game. That has to be a great feeling.
16 seconds down to 15. Play clock is at 3, and he will take a knee. That's the classy thing to do right there. You don't need more points. You've got the victory in the 2006 Capital One Bowl over a tough Auburn Tiger team. And they got him. Got the cold water treatment, but he also got a victory. And it's oh so happy way to go out after 16 years at the University of Wisconsin. We'll have more in a little bit. 24-10, our final score. Wisconsin wins it.
Finally, we're using my credit card miles. They couldn't black us out forever.
But, Dad, it's summer.
What are you, a weatherman?
All right, who's up for a little double diamond? Last one down's a coward. I'm okay.
They need a Capital One card.
For easy-to-use rewards, get Capital One no-hassle rewards with no blackouts on any airline anytime.
Kids, look at
What's in your wallet?
This year, during the Bowl Championship Series, Ford is giving away a bunch of ultimate tailgating F-150s like this one every time a touchdown is scored during the special Ford quarter of each BCS matchup.
Hey, big fella. How the bratwurst doing?
Good. So, y'all want your buns toasted?
And one lucky truck winner will win a tailgate party with country music star Toby Keith. Log on to ESPN.com, keyword Ford to enter, and watch the BCS January 2nd through the 4th on ABC.
You think video games are incredible now. With a setup like this, you can make them really come alive. The games, the stuff, it all comes together right here. Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Mr. Fancy Suits is single? This is my daughter, Jackie. Don't worry. She's getting it waxed.
Jake in Progress premieres next Monday, 9:30, 8:30 Central, only on ABC.
Capital One Bowl on ABC Sports is brought to you by Allstate. Are you in good hands? So a happy John Stocco. And what a win. 117, the most in school history for this gentleman. Final time around for Barry Alvarez.
So I face the final curtain. my friend. I'll say it clear. I'll state my case.
And let's go down to the field and Holly Rowe.
Well, I'm here with Coach Alvarez. And, Coach, what's it like to go out with a win in your last game at Wisconsin?
I mean, this is like a dream. I mean, it's, well, as hard as our kids played and how they played, how they prepared. I felt they played well. I didn't know if we'd be good enough. I know this was a very good team we played, but our guys really laid it on the line. I feel badly about Joe Thomas. You have a true freshman that walks in and plays the second half. But I'm speechless. I really am. I'm so proud of my players and happy. This is good for our whole state.
Coach, tell us what, as you leave, what would you like to be remembered for at Wisconsin?
Bringing pride back to the state of Wisconsin and the University Athletic Program.
You turn the reins over now to a young coach. What was the reason you picked Brett Bielema?
I think he gets the big picture. He's smart, tireless worker, communicates well with the players, with coaches. He'll make a good connection with our alumni. He's the right guy.
Thanks very much for all your help over the years. Fun to see you go with the win. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holly, and thanks, Barry Alvarez, and our best goes out to you. Our final score, Wisconsin 24 and Auburn 10. And now for Bob Davie, Holly Rowe, and our entire ABC crew, this is Ron Franklin, wishing you a very happy New Year. Big win by the Big Ten over the Southeastern Conference today, knocking off the Auburn Tigers. Stay tuned for the Bill Ford Tough Fiesta Bowl pregame report after this from your ABC stations.